Hey everybody, welcome to Punch and Roll, where your favorite audiobook narrators come together to play your favorite role-playing games in a celebration of the power of human storytelling. We are produced by PANA, the Professional Audiobook Narrators Association. PANA provides support for new and established audiobook narrators while raising awareness in the public consciousness of the importance of human narrators in storytelling. Learn more about them at pronarrators.org. And before we continue with the story of Beneath the Library, we want to take a moment to acknowledge the ongoing strike by SAG-AFTRA against the TV theatrical contract.
Both PANA and the cast and crew of Beneath the Library are in full support of this historic strike, marking the first time since 1960 that SAG-AFTRA and the WGA have been on strike concurrently.
Now more than ever, it is vital we stand in solidarity with our union siblings. Not only because this is a fight for the value of human artistry, one of PANA's founding principles, but what affects one of our body's limbs today may affect another tomorrow.
SAG-AFTRA audiobook representatives Jane Love and Richard Larkin have made it clear that this strike does not affect union audiobook contracts. But if you are a SAG-AFTRA member or hoping to become one, you may not cross the picket lines to work on any productions operating under union, TV, theatrical contracts without severe penalty. Learn more about the strike at sagaftrastrike.org, including contracts under which you can work and cannot work.
PANA encourages all our members, union and non-union, to get involved with SAG-AFTRA's strike efforts wherever you can. Check with your local union to find out about strike efforts in your area. Join the picket lines, get loud in support of your union siblings, and flood social media to help spread the word about the power and value of human artistry.
Absolutely, and I'm seeing a bunch of SAG Strongs in the chat, and really appreciate it. So
You
speaking
guys have good
of,
voices. Have you thought about doing anything like that?
From time to
There's money
time.
to be made somewhere in that.
yeah. So speaking of powerful and valuable human artists, let us turn back to these amazing narrators and seek out adventure. Jeremy and Spencer, could you please catch us up on the action so far?
Our scene opens. I've thought this up, so we'll wing it. You'll have to work with us. Our scene opens.
It's
on a
D&D. We
bench.
wing it all the time.
It's D&D. We're winging it on a bench. Ulfgar is sitting. Don't let me speak for you, Jeremy, but Ulfgar is sitting there. Kalden comes down to join him, and he says something like, Ulfgar, what a day, man. I was just thinking about this whole thing, and I'm having trouble wrapping my head around all this. We started up at the top of the library, coming down here for books, and now we're tangled up in this big mess with a dragon? What? Can you help me figure out, can you help me make some sense of this whole thing?
Well, I agree. I can't say that when I woke up this morning, I thought I would be spending a good chunk of the day saving a bunch of kobolds from creatures coming through the walls.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
That was amazing. It was pretty heroic of us, I think. There was a good amount of throwing things and fighting of creatures.
And especially,
But,
can I add, Miscria. Do you remember that crazy somersault thing that she did back there? That was nuts.
Aye. But it was nice to be able to sit down and just talk with them. I know that you're quite fond of the string you bought. But it was a good day. But yeah, then to go and meet the dragon, which again we thought would be our big battle. But he's actually pretty nice after you got through the whole pile of books that fought us and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to make it out of that one. I thought that was going to be the end of the tale of the town watch right there, man. I got to tell you.
Aye. But I'm glad that we can help people in need, even if it is a dragon. Especially with, it can be tough if you enjoy reading, your eyesight goes, and just need that extra support.
Say, can I call your attention to one other detail that I thought was surprising?
Sure.
Do you remember when we first got to that chamber with the dragon and El Torin pulled up his sleeve? Did you see what his arm looked like? It's like a dragon-looking thing, wasn't it?
That is a little weird that he joined us on this mission to fight a dragon.
Maybe I'll ask him about it later.
That's a good idea.
So, what are we about to go do? I think I'd knocked my head. I can't remember.
We got to find his glasses, right?
That's right. Oh, and one more thing, actually. You did mention the string earlier. I actually have something for you to say thanks.
Oh.
And at this, Kalden pulls out, opens his jacket from an inside pocket, pulls out the empty watch housing. He shows that and says, I know this isn't much, but I thought it would be kind of a cute trinket and memorial for our time down here. if you will, so you can remember our time together. Maybe when we get back up there, we can steal some books, cash this thing out, and put something inside of this. But I
That's
want
a
you to have
wonderful
this,
idea.
and I just want to say that I'm glad you're here. And Calden hands over the empty watch housing.
This is quite touching. I will treasure it always.
I hope so. It's not worth much yet, but I hope it's worth something emotionally. And then it stands up, and we head out.
Back to work.
All right. As you're going, you hear one kobold saying to another,
Weren't they saying earlier that they were trying to retrieve treasure that belonged upstairs? Yeah, I think they've forgotten about that. Well, that's okay, because this way the Great One gets more treasure. Yeah, I think that's for the best.
and I just want to make sure that you guys have taken your long rest. You did get an opportunity to sleep and to really recover from your the tests that the Great One put you through. And I know you got some magic items. How did you end up dividing those? Who wound up getting what?
Well, I took the ring of jumping.
I
Miss
took
Greer
the
got the rope of climbing.
Okay.
hat of water breathing, the
And-
meaning of water breathing.
El Torin got the slippers of spider climbing.
Fantastic. And so with his new magical gear equipped, if those, I'm not sure off the top of my head if those require attunement, but certainly over the course of a long rest, you'd have become attuned to them. The kobolds lead you through back to that auditorium where where the wall broke open and that horde of robots came through. They lead you there and say,
This is where they were last seen. So,
"Go get them!" and pat you on the back.
All
Must
right.
have knew that we fell down a hole, if I remember correctly. At least this time we didn't go tumbling into a chasm.
Yeah, and as you look down, it is a little bit of a hole. It's a pretty smoothly bored out tunnel. Has been carved through the rock here. It's about 5 feet in diameter, leading down not 90 degrees straight down, but at a little bit of a pretty steep incline. And Ulfgar, I know you have preposterous dark vision, so you can see that it goes about 100 feet down before it levels out.
Oh, great. Everyone ready? Let's go. I'll jump for it. Let's go. Slide down this thing.
All right.
A tremendous jump too now, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can jump 45 feet.
So you zzz down.
Well, El
That is
Torin
a-
with
that
his
is a-
spider climbing slippers can probably walk down pretty comfortably, so he'll do that instead.
Oh
have to
yeah,
go
I mean it
very
is
carefully.
5 foot diameter, so you might have to crouch a little bit. But yeah, El Torin, you can just sort of walk down. It's a little disconcerting, walking with down being in front of you, but the spider climbing slippers are just clinging perfectly. Ulfgar, as you are, I mean, you went down first. You're going down. You guys are seeing sparks fly up off the armor as he down the way. I would like you, as it levels out and goes straight, you see that there's actually not that much of a distance before it opens up into a larger area. I would like you to make, let's call it a strength saving throw, to see if you can catch yourself before you go tumbling out.
Slalom.
This is going to be just a save or die.
Well, it's going to be a save
Okay.
or something.
It probably was. I got a 19, so I should be okay.
Oh,
He would
fantastic.
lose you.
Yeah. So how do you break yourself spectacularly? How do you do it?
Well, I'm sliding down on my stomach, and as soon as I can see that stuff's happening, just kind of jam my fingers into the ground and try to roll to the side and veer a little bit.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Very very like the movies where you're
Tokyo
sliding
Drift.
down that building and like you're coming right up to the edge. You're like no, and you dig your fingers down in there and come to a stop with about 8 feet of tunnel left before it opens into that larger area. And there's a little bit of a wait as everybody else. How is everybody else coming down, by the way? We've got We've got Eltorin walking. What about Miscri and Calden?
Well, Calden would like to say to Miscria as he watches Wolfgar go flying down, we have got to talk to him about doing that when we get back up. He is going to get really hurt one day doing stuff like this. Calden is carefully, he's flipped around and he's kind of going down backwards, using both his hands and his legs to kind of descend.
Sure, to sort of
carefully
like,
again.
do that like chimney climb as you go down. Sure, absolutely. Make that is a 10-story chimney climb. I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you can sort of hold it as you go down.
Okay. Let's hit that, and the Constitution saving throw is 17.
Oh, fantastic! It is not a problem holding it. You go down like you're a born rock climber. And what about Miscria?
Miscria. I'm going to go ahead and use my rope of climbing. I'm assuming I can use it more than once, right?
Sure, yeah. And the rope of climbing just loops itself around a little outcropping of rock. You go down, and it stops right, actually a little before its 50-foot length. It stops because there's a fantastic handhold for you. Probably one of the indentations that Ulfgar made as he was coming down, for you to hold on, and the rope shimmies down, and you finish climbing. And then there's only just a 10-foot drop for you to get down. So all of this process takes some time, Ulfgar. So you are able, sitting in the darkness of this tunnel, to spy what it is opening into before everyone comes down. And I think the rest of you can hear this before you can see it. The rest of you, as you're descending, as it is a little quieter and a little more careful than the 10-gallon box of pots and pans falling down a hole that Ulfgar's armor sounded like. You hear this sort of like this noise. You don't even know what it is. It's this series of beeps and buzzers, right? That sort of like ding, sort of noises. And as you get closer, you can hear the scuttling sound of small metallic feet moving along. Yes, exactly like that. And underneath it all is this low white noise rumble that you eventually place as the sound of running water coming from somewhere. Okay. Ulfgar, you didn't hear any of this before you see what's happening. Out of the hole you can see, it opens up to a larger room. You can't see all of the room quite yet, but you can see quite prominently about 20 feet beyond the opening it sort of looks like it's an opening into some sort of hall, in the sense of it being a large room in which people could gather, kind of a hall. But in the center of this hall is this almost metallic diamond-like shape, about 4 feet tall, and it's got a sort of a glassy black square right in the center, and there is a long line of easily a dozen of these robots with the grabbing claws, full of stuff, standing in a line in front of this thing. And one by one they come up and move something in front of that black square. It flickers for a little bit. You actually see sort of a red light come out and play over the object that they're holding in front of that square. And then there is either a ding sound and a green light comes on, in which case that robot scuttles off to your left. Or there is a noise and a red light comes on, and then the robot scuttles off to the right. You can also hear that after they scuttle over to the right, after a pause, there's sort of a crashing, clunking kind of noise. standing on either side of this metallic, sort of diamond-like object, there are two of those spear thrusting robots standing there as if on guard. And by the time that the rest of your compatriots have gotten down, the line of robots in front of this thing has maybe gotten down to about 3 or 4. What you can't tell is whether when they go off to the left or they go off to the right, whether they've left the area or are still in it. But at least the line in front of this object is now smaller.
It looks like they're delivering stuff to a great big diamond right there. And there seems to be a red light or a green light, depending on whether they gave the right things or the right amount or something.
And how far away is this, Max? Can I see it?
Yes.
Okay.
There is ambient light out there, so those of you without dark vision can see what's going on. You've got about 10 feet of tunnel between you and the opening, and then it looks like it's opening into a hall that's about 40 feet wide, and you have no idea how long. And this thing is kind of in the center, so it's about 20 feet away from the hole where you guys are clustered, which makes it about 30 feet away from you all.
If we creep out to the edge, can we look around and try to see more of the room?
on the left
like
and right,
where
maybe?
where these things are going, what some of those other noises are?
Sure. As you creep right to the very edge, I'd like you to make a stealth check, because if you get to the very edge, you might be spotted.
All right.
I'm not super sneaky. I'm going to take a crack at that. Or let's let El Torin go first. Okay.
This was
okay.
Okay. Well, El Torin.
El Torin was not thinking too much about being quiet. He was just too curious.
three.
Yeah,
He was just whatever.
I have good news and bad news for you, El Torin. The good news is you are able to see very clearly what is going on as you scuttle forward and sort of lean your head out. You can see off to the left, which is where they go when there is a little green light that comes up. There's a corridor that sort of goes off to the left and turns. You can't see what's down that corridor, but you can see one of them that had that little green light, and the ding is heading off that way.
Does it still have the item in its claw as it goes off that way?
Yes, it does. And to the right, you can see down at the far end of the hall, there is just a hole into which the ones that get the red and the noise seem to scuttle over and drop whatever they're holding down into that hole, which is then shortly after you hear that crashing, clunking kind of sound as it hits, presumably the other stuff that is in that hole. And then the ones that do that are just standing silently by that hole about 50 feet away, as if waiting for instructions. So the good news is you are able to very clearly see everything that's going on. The bad news is that as Calden was coming up to also see what is going on, and you're leaning out, kind of bumps against your foot, and you lose your balance and actually tumble with a 3. You tumble out and land thunk right on your butt, right in front of the hole. And there's just a moment when all of the robots in the room turn around and eye you. And I think with a 3 on that stealth check, it is time for everybody to roll initiative.
I was going to say, oh, sorry, are you okay? Uh-oh.
When we're going into new areas, we really should be quiet.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Miss Greer got a 10.
Okay.
Ulfgar's got a 13.
Okay.
El Torin also got a 13.
Calvin has an 18.
All right. Fantastic. So The bad news is that the spear robots are acting first. They have they are on guard duty after all. It makes sense. And Calden, with you being out there, it is you that they are focusing on.
Or Eltorin?
Sorry, yes, Eltorin. So the two robots with the spears come charging up to you and try to make an attack on you. First one is a 6, so that I'm presuming that misses. The second one, though, is a dirty 20.
Oh, I was hoping we'd have like a cartoon.
All right.
Where he's ping, 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 ping.
Well, the
Been a
first
lot
one
of fun.
does. The first one absolutely does that. Ding, 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 as Eltorn is leaning left and right, but then just leans right into the other one that got the smallest possible roll on the damage. So you take 2 points of piercing damage from that spear.
All right,
and
I
then,
guess I'll take that.
Calden, you are now up.
Okay, no choice but to wade into the fray here. I think I'd like to take a shot at hitting the one that hit Eltorin.
Given that you are in the tunnel and they are outside of it, I'm going to give them half cover unless you emerge. But if you
okay.
emerge, you're going to be in melee.
Okay.
So it's up to you.
You know what? Maybe let's take a shot with the bow. Eltorin's on the ground, right? I mean, he's prone.
Sitting, not prone. Sitting
that
on his
mean-
butt, not flat on his back.
Does that mean I'll take a penalty for the shot?
Yes, it's the cover of the walls that's giving them the half cover.
Oh, I see. I see. Well,
Basically, it's a little bonus to their armor class, is how it goes.
I have notoriously bad luck. You know what? Let me take the bow shot because
All right.
I think that's probably the move for right now.
Alrighty.
And let's take a shot at that. It's going to be a 3.
Weirdly,
Does
a
that
3
hit,
does
Max?
not hit. No. Eltorin, you actually feel a little whizz at that as you feel the fletching of the arrow brush against your ear as it comes perilously close to hitting you.
They call me
but
Calvin
this-
Calamity, baby. Kill my friends first and foremost.
Anything else, Calden?
Oh, you know what? I actually can. I might have something useful I can do here, because I believe I have as a bonus action. I can aid somebody, so I think it would probably behoove me to aid Eltorin, which means I guess you get.
You'll get advantage on your
Advantage.
next if you attack this coming turn.
Actually, why don't you aid somebody else if I'm allowed to?
Well,
to
we're
suggest
in
such.
combat. I think we're going to let people
right.
make decisions for their own characters.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure that makes sense. I'm just focusing on you because you're
Yeah.
the one
Yep.
in danger, and plus you have some
And-
pretty good magic.
And any movement, you're going to stay where you are.
No, I'm going to stay where I am.
All right. So next we come to the claw robots, which are divided up into 2 groups. There's the 4 that are near the thing, and there's the 8 that are farther away. The 4 that are near the thing actually drop the items they were holding, and as a group come scuttling over to Eltorin. And Eltorin, they are not attacking you. They are instead, however, trying to grab you. They are trying to grapple you.
Okay.
And there are 4 of them. So we're going to make a series of contested checks. It's going to be their athletics against your either athletics or acrobatics. It's up to you.
Okay.
But you're out, though. That's why.
So
this
wait,
is
with it,
possible.
does the aid give me advantage on one of these?
Sure.
All right, there we
Yeah.
go. I'll take that aid then.
Okay. First one is
Never
a
know.
yeah. So first one is a 12.
All right, so I'll roll acrobatics with advantage first.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a
works.
23.
Pass. Next one is a 7.
All right. 8.
Oh. Third one is a 13.
All right. Oh, that's a nat 20 for me that time.
Oh, and the last one is a 4.
Oh, I don't think I can fail on that one. I got a 12.
Yeah. So just all these claws coming at you and just
Now
slap,
my
slap, 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 slap,
fantasy
slap,
of-
slap, slap, slapping them away. Yes. It is absolutely one of those strange little slap fights going on. And the others are dashing. So they are running forward to this hole to surround it, but they cannot take an action this turn because they had to dash to get close to you. So that brings us all the way now to you, Altor. You are up next.
All right. Well, so there's a whole bunch of them sort of clustered around and in front of me.
Yes, indeed there are. You are sitting on your butt looking up at about 14 angry robots.
All right.
Boy. And we're off.
Let's see. That would... Which one to do? Which one? Sorry, I need to get rid of this.
Paralysis of choice. We have a target
No,
rich
no,
environment, they call that.
The problem is I'm trying to read what my spells do, and some of this other stuff from die rolls was in the way. Okay, so we think either a Constitution saving throw or a Dexterity saving throw. I wonder which one would be better.
Well, we're in combat, so you just got to
Yep,
make a choice.
I'm just gonna have to make a
We
choice.
we don't always make the best choices in the heat of the moment. That's the way it goes.
Let's go with Dexterity then. So
Okay.
El Torin will reach, push himself to his feet and raise as crystal in the air and close his eyes, and then as he opens them again, there's a rumble from inside of him, a little bit of a sort of like a shimmer around him, and his eyes are glowing with electric sort of sparks going through them as he casts Dragon's Breath with his bonus action, and then will unleash a breath attack within a 15-foot cone.
Nice. So that comes out at I think just under 60 degrees. So that to me, I think that means you can get about a third of them.
Okay.
A third.
So each of those will have to make a Dexterity saving throw.
All right. Do you want to include sort of the spear robots are on either side of you, and then all the other robots clustered in the middle? So you can do one of the spear robots and a bunch of grabbers, a bigger bunch of grabbers, or the other spear robot.
As long as I can get the same overall number, I'd like to include one of the spear robots.
Fantastic. So turning to your left, and this blast of fire coming out.
Or electricity, sorry.
Oh, electricity, thank you.
Lightning.
Yeah, that's important, I guess. Right?
The spear robot gets a 19.
Okay.
And
that will
there
save.
are 14 scavenger robots. I'll say you can get 4 of them. That is a 4.
Fail.
9.
Fail.
4.
Fail.
Wow. It's 2 natural ones so far, and a 21.
So pass. All right.
Okay.
So that's going to be, I'm going to roll the 3d6 damage. Oh, that's a good roll. So 14 damage for the ones that failed, and 7 damage for the ones that passed.
All right. So
lightning
a
damage.
burst of overloading electricity washes over them. And I'll tell you, with that damage roll, it didn't matter those who succeeded or passed for those claw robots. So 4 of them just spark, their head, their arms flop off, their bodies pop open. The spear robot is still standing, although sort of spun for a little loop as it is in a lot of its circuitry overloads. Nicely done. Anything else?
I think that'll be it, because if I try to step away from them, I think I'll probably provoke some attacks. So we're gonna let the cavalry come in now.
The chat is saying, by the way, that 14 Angry Robots would make a great boy band name. I'm not sure that I agree, but it would be a heck of an act either
We're
way.
2 years away from that with AI, man. Maybe less.
No.
Maybe less.
No. That's what we're fighting against. All right, Ulfgar, you are up.
Well, first I'm gonna look at Miscria like, why do they charge in ahead? And
Make
then
an irony saving throw.
So, how many are left grouped up together?
two of the
spears.
spear robots and 8 of the others.
Okay. I'm gonna run up. I've been. Let's see what my number is on this. A 20-foot cube. I'm gonna try to get as many of them as I can, and they can all give me deck saves.
Okay. Are you including Eltorin in this, or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then I'm gonna say you can get all of the grabby ones, but not the spear ones, if you're not including Eltorin, because they're right up on him.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, we'll do it.
Okay.
Very
you said
tempted to get Eltorin, but no.
you said a deck save.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, I'm just going to do this in groups to make it faster. There's 8 of them. I'll do them in groups of 2. So 23 is so 2 passes, 20 4 passes, a 13. What does 13 do?
That fails.
Okay, so
they
2
are.
fails and 2 4s. So half the group passed, half the group failed.
Okay, the ones that failed are now outlined in glowing light, so we have advantage on attacking them.
Nice. So as you, so the right-hand group of robots in front of you, Eltorin, just all start sparkling and glowing.
And then
And
I'll
the
run
ones
up
on
to
your
get-
left are sparking from your. And are you staying in the tunnel or are you coming out?
No, I want to be up in the battle.
All right, so you push yourself past and drop to your feet right by Eltorin, and that leads us to Miscria.
All right. I'm assuming these robots are not considered fiends.
They're not, I'm afraid.
Would have been so nice if they
only.
were. All right. How many are there?
At this point, there are 2 spear throwy ones and 8 of the grabby ones. 4 of those grabby ones being glowing and giving you advantage on attacks.
Okay. Yeah, might as well. I'm assuming they're within range for me to run up and strike.
Yeah, you'll
Into
have
the
to sort
fray.
of push your way through into the fray, but yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. Might as well just go into the fray
All right.
and use my scimitar.
All right, are you attacking the spear robots or the grabby ones?
The grabby ones are the ones that are glowing, right? With
Yes.
advantage? Okay. Yep.
All right.
So I roll that with advantage, and that is a 18,
That hits.
and that's an 11.
Which is
too shabby.
more than enough to blast that one apart.
Yes.
All right, down to
Rending
7. Anything
steel.
else, or are you just going to stand there?
Oh, I can. Well, I'm gonna hold off on my spell slots for now, so I'm gonna stand here.
All right. So that brings us back to the top of the order as the 2 spear robots move in to stab again. Now they have 3 targets in front of them. So I think although the one that spat electricity is a big target, so one of those attacks definitely comes to you, Eltorin. So that is going to be
Does anybody get an opportunity
a
attack for this type of
7
thing?
to hit. No.
It's only if they move or disengage.
Only if they move out of the range of combat. So that's a 7 against your armor class, which misses.
Yep.
Miscria, the other one is going to come to you. That is a natural 20.
All right. We're going
me.
to react to that.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're going to cast some silvery barbs.
Ooh.
If we remember what silvery barbs does.
I think I have to re-roll that.
Yep. Eltorin sees that attack going deadly accurate at Miscria.
Yeah.
And
her back is turned. You see
pushes
that spear coming in.
the crystal, and little silvery sparks shower down onto it and obscure its vision. And yes, you'll have to re-roll that attack and use the lower roll.
The re-rolled attack is a 19.
All right, better than a crit.
Yeah, definitely better than a crit. And
So
once, And once again, it's minimum damage, so you take 2 piercing damage as that spear, instead of embedding itself in the back of your head, glances off your shoulder.
And those little showery sparks that dazzle thing for a little bit bounce off and go coalesce around Calden, helping him have advantage on his next attack roll or ability check.
Fantastic. And Calden is up next.
And what he's going to do is he is going to try to tear apart with his daggers the more hale of the spear robots. The one that has more health.
So diving out of that whole daggers in your hand.
You've got the +1 fork, right?
I've got 2. Yes, I got 2 +1 forks.
Plus one set of plus 1 cutlery. Here we go.
And so that's going to be a sad little 9.
Although you have advantage on this one.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting to roll advantage. I'll just roll again. Please don't be worse than that. Oh, it's a 21.
That's a hit.
Okay, so now I roll advantage or damage with
your sneak attack.
With sneak attack. Okay, so we've got 1, we got a 3, we got a 4, and then we also have a... Correct me if I'm doing that wrong.
Yeah, I saw you roll the dagger damage twice. Which you shouldn't do because you've only made 1 attack roll yet.
1 and then a sneak.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll ignore the second one, which was a 5. So we'll take a 4, and then the sneak attack was a 9.
Which is 13 hit
we got
points.
A total of 13.
Which is exactly the number of hit points that it has. So you come diving out, and with that first dagger, that fork just goes.
The knife.
Yeah, the fork just hits a seam and twists, and it pops open like a Kinder Egg, and falls completely apart. You can now make your bonus action attack, and you can make it against a different robot if you like.
I would like to do that, and the one that's sparking, I would like to take a shot at that one.
Okay, so the other spear robot,
which should be adjacent, really close by.
Yeah,
so
easy enough for you to shift your feet and attack that one.
A fresh hit
with the snake knife.
And the fresh hit is an 18.
That hits.
And the fresh damage is a 5.
It's a 5. Not quite enough to bring it down, but it's in a pretty bad way.
And that's me. That's movement, action, bonus action.
All right. Which now leads us to the grabbing robots, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left.
Too many.
They come in a group. Calden, 3 of them are coming to you to try to grab hold of you. So that's going to be, again, athletics against your athletics or acrobatics.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me 3 of those checks, please.
All right. So it's athletics or acrobatics. That's unfortunate. I'm only so-so at this. And worse than these rolls, 7 for the first one.
You beat the 2.
Okay.
The next ones are a 10 and an 8 that you have to beat.
Well, it's a 15 and a 19.
All right.
How dexterous the rogue.
Yeah, so this is kind of a Keystone Cop situation as the 3 that are coming for you just keep bumping into each other. Mysteria, 2 of them are trying to grab you. So 2 either acrobatics or athletics checks for you, please.
Athletics.
You'll have to beat a 10 and then a 4. Man, they're rolling terribly. Well, tie goes to status quo, so they don't manage to grab you.
Okay. Yeah. And a 12. I always think that's a 1 when it comes up at a 7.
I know.
It's just not long enough.
Yeah, it is a little terrifying. And Calden, the 2 that remain are still trying to grab you. And you
Calden already got 3 at him.
You have to. Oh, sorry. El Torin.
Okay.
And El Torin, you're gonna have to beat a 12 and then a 7.
All right. Oh, 8.
Okay, so you are grappled.
Dun, dun.
Should I roll for the second one?
Yes, you definitely should.
20 for the next one.
Okay, so 1 has got you, and it drags you with its movement out of the pile to that metal diamond. And as you get within 5 feet of that glassy square, you feel that light play over you, and it flashes red and makes the sound. But that is all that can happen right now with this turn. And that is going to bring us through as we play through the grabby robots. That brings us to you, Eltorin. You are grappled by one of them in front of this thing.
And there's a whole group of them backed by my friends.
Yes.
Am I far enough away that I can't still use my breath attack on the...
You would catch your friends in the breath attack. Yeah.
They probably wouldn't mind too much. Well, maybe I shouldn't. All
Grin
right.
and bear it.
They're pretty dexterous. They look quick.
Dusting myself off.
All right, well, I guess I'll
what's
just...
3d6 lightning damage
What's
among
3d6
friends?
lightning damage among friends? I will focus my attention on the one that has me, and
Okay.
I will just unleash on it with a brah of lightning right
nice.
at it. So
All
go ahead
right.
and have it make a dex save.
All right. If you roll like you did last time, it's not going to matter, but the dex save is a 15.
Oh, that'll be enough. Just barely.
Okay.
Well, kind of just barely. Not as good as last time, was it? 9, so what, take 4?
Oh, so it is still alive. So you unload on this thing, but it is able to sort of, I guess because you're so close and it's still kind of a narrow stream, it's able to twist half out of the way and is not utterly wrecked and is still holding on to you.
All right. I guess I probably can't try to break away with my move action.
No, you can't. You could have used your action to try to break away,
Right.
but grappled, your movement is 0. You are stuck there.
Can I can't use my move action to drag it?
No.
Go back and forth.
All right.
idea.
Can't do that. Let's see. Think if there's anything else I can do with my bonus action at this point, but I don't really think there is. So I guess that's gonna have to be it.
Okay, Ulfgar, one of your friends has just been dragged away. There's still one badly damaged spear robot by you and 6 of the grabby robots by you.
Now I'm running after the one that got Altorin.
Okay,
As long as I can get up to him and hit him.
I'm going to say that there's going to be 3 opportunity attacks on you as you try to run by. And they are all grapple attempts. So, as before,
Interesting.
we're going to do the contested checks. So, acrobatics or athletics, you have to beat first a 5, then a 6. Wow. And then an 8. They can't roll.
Haven't been
You
tuned
can't
up.
roll either.
First one's a 3,
Okay.
Gosh.
and the next one's a 17,
Uh-huh.
and the next one is, what is that, a 9.
So...
Well, I got caught by one. or
One does
2.
catch you, so you're not able to run up there. You do still have your action
Yeah, no,
available
I'm
to
gonna
you, but
hit
you,
this guy.
You can't run. Okay.
I'm gonna hit this
the,
guy
The
for it.
one that's grappling you, I assume.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's a 16.
That hits.
Okay, take 9.
Okay, that is more than enough to destroy the thing.
Perfect. Then I will continue my running.
When you get grappled, your speed drops to 0.
Okay.
So that is you for that turn. You got stuck there. And then you
All
had
right.
to turn and smash it, but that was it for your movement.
All right, then that's it for me.
Okay, Miscria, you are up.
All right. I just gotta take it one robot at a time and just get one with my scimitar.
I live
All
my
right.
life one
You
robot at a
going for the
time.
remaining spear robot or one of the grabby ones?
Spear.
Okay, go for it.
Do I still get advantage on that one?
No,
No,
it is
not that one.
isn't glowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one. Okay, that is a 20
That hits.
and a 9.
All right, so you step over and crack that thing open, and it drops and is down, leaving you only with, by my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 robots near you. I'm going to say 3 of which are glowing. Anything else?
That is it for now.
Okay, so we move along. Spear robots are dead. Calden.
I think it's me.
It
so
is.
In between two of the grabby robots, I see Eltorin dragged between the diamond-looking thing, and I'm So I want to try to take a crack at the one that's grappling him with a short bow.
Okay.
I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, because it may be a mechanics issue, but as a rogue, I don't know if I can disengage and get there without the opportunity.
That is what disengage means. If you take the bonus action of disengaging, you slip away without provoking opportunity attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm the only character here who can do that.
Yes.
Oh, well, you know what? Let's do it. That's why I made this character, just to do things like this. So I want to slip. Calden slips, underneath their legs or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Whatever it is. And I'm hoping I can get behind this thing. I'm not sure which direction it's facing.
Yeah, you can get behind it easily enough.
Which means it would be an opportunity attack, which means I would roll with advantage.
You're flanking, so you'd roll with advantage.
Okay, so let's see what happens when I do that. I'm going to stab it with these two daggers. And it's a critical.
All right.
Probably overkill, but let's see what the
Probably
damage
is.
here. The dagger is a 9, and I guess the sneak attack, the hoop and the harm, as they say, will be gotta wait for the dice to go away, an 11. So 20 points of
20 points of damage to this thing that had 1 hit point left. So you just reach in there with both the fork and the knife and just open it up, look around. You stick the knife up in there and scramble it around a little bit. It is gone.
Wanted to make a point out of it.
That's an awful lot of max rolls on all those dice.
That was a lot. Yeah. Hope I haven't burned my luck. But I think that's everything I can do. I think I've run.
I think so. And Eltor, you are very much no longer grappled. Woohoo! And now we come to the remaining grabby robots, which is 5 of them around Miskria and Ulfgar. They are, let's say it's 3 on Miskria, 2 on Ulfgar. So let's have some of these contested rolls, please. Let's start with Miskria. Miskria, give me 3 acrobatics or athletics. You need to beat a 13. And then a 3, and then a 1.
All right.
So basically you have to beat a 13.
Is a 11.
Okay, so you are grappled.
Okay.
I'm sure the others just can't.
And then the next one is an 18.
Yeah.
And then the next one is a 9.
Okay, so the one that has grappled you, as it did with Eltorin, drags you towards that diamond, and as you get close, you get that, and it starts to drag you off to the side, bringing you towards that pit. But it can't get very far towards that pit this turn.
Eltorin and I are here. Does that mean we can't get a crack at this thing as it goes by? I'm not sure what the specifics for like an opportunity attack would be in this case, because
it would have to move away from us, so I guess it depends on how far it really moves.
It can't quite get far enough away from you. Yeah.
Can I use Hellish Rebuke?
No, because it isn't doing you damage.
Oh, you know what? I feel like that's
psychological damage.
Yeah.
Am I not being dragged? Is there not like
well, no,
gravel
this is an interesting
sticking into my back?
Hey, you know what? Sure.
Shredding my clothes?
You know what? Fine. You're angry at this. Go for it. I guess it did hit you, even if it didn't do damage. So sure, go for it.
Rebuke your grabbers.
I don't know how to use it, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's a dexterity saving throw on its part.
Oh, okay.
And it got a 10, which I'm sure does not beat your spell save.
Oh, okay. Dexterity saving throw.
Oh, not you. It has
Oh,
to make
shit.
it.
Okay, I'm trying here.
Yeah, you can just roll the damage.
Oh, okay. Just roll the damage. I think I just... Okay. 3d10. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
That's wild.
no grabbing without consent. I think that's completely justified.
You need to get 3d10 damage. That's crazy. I even have enchanted.
Hope you got some more uses of that.
I can't do that.
That was fun to watch. 16.
16, yeah. The thing is just a melted pile of of slag at the end of that.
It's got that burning computer smell.
Yeah, and not only did you kill a robot, but the chat is very much in love with your lipstick.
Oh, yay.
All right, so that was the grabby. Oh no, there's two of them trying to grab Ulfgar. We still have to do that. So Ulfgar, you need to beat at first a 10 because I just can't roll well on this at all, and then a 9.
Let's hope. No, that's a 4.
Okay.
And okay, the other one's an 18.
All right. So Ulfgar, you get dragged up towards this diamond thing, and as it scans you, ding, it goes green, and it starts to pull you the other direction away from the hole and towards the tunnel.
So if it's away from the hole, does that mean it's away from us standing
Thought the
a
same
little
thing
bit
I
towards
did.
the hole?
But
Yes. Yes. That makes complete sense.
So can we get some opportunity attacks?
Go for it.
All right, why don't you go ahead first, Calvin?
okay, so I just rolled my normal attack. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And it was a 22, so I'm
That's a
assuming
hit.
that hits. And the damage that I'll do is just a 3. I assume I can only hit it once.
Yeah.
That's not a
His sneak
double.
attack is only once per round?
Oh no, thank you. Sneak attack is once per turn, meaning you get to add your sneak attack bonus on this.
Okay, and that's greater. It's a 7, so a total of 10.
So it is destroyed. And Elfgar, you are released. And Altorin, it is now your turn.
All right, so there are how many
Basically,
of these things?
Three.
there are 3 of them left in a cluster by the hole, and none of them are nearby. None of your friends are nearby because they all
right.
got dragged a little.
Just gonna
setting
go
up for
turn
this.
towards them and send a
right.
big blast of dragon's electricity breath at them. So
Okay.
Dex saving throws, please.
11
Miss.
and 16
Pass.
and 16.
Oh, all right.
More work.
That's
to
pretty
be
good
done.
damage, though. 14 again, so 14 for the one that missed and 7 for the ones that passed.
Even the ones that passed do not survive. So you just unleash, the things fall apart in a shower of sparks, and you guys are out of initiative.
Was okay.
That was disconcerting.
I think
Wolfgar,
it's
at least you
interesting.
passed.
I think it's interesting that I was the only one that passed.
I wonder if
Maybe I should scan
Perhaps it is-
myself. Boost my self-confidence here. I didn't get scanned, I don't think.
No, you didn't. You certainly can walk in front and see if it'll scan you.
I'm gonna wait for just to discuss it with the crew before I decide to get scanned. I'm not sure what the
Okay.
repercussions of this are.
doesn't
go
seem
take a
to
look
do
at-
any harm.
Yeah,
I want
that's
to go take a
true.
look at the pit they were going to throw me in.
Sure. Well, you were being taken not into the pit. You were
Okay.
being dragged to the corridor off on the other half of the hall. So
Okay,
there's a
so it goes
pit
somewhere else.
down one end of the hall, and there's a little corridor off on the other end.
Can anybody see what's down the hole? What type of stuff is down there?
You'd have to go up, but if you go up, you could take a look.
I'm asking them, Max, not you. Oh, Wolfgar.
Right, I can go take a
Do
look.
we-
Can you see anything down there, Ulfgar?
Yeah, I'll walk up to the edge.
Okay. Give me, please, a perception
He
check.
does it.
Ooh. And is it dark down the hole that I have disadvantage?
No, there's enough ambient light that you're fine.
Well, with him, it shouldn't matter, right? Unless it's like 500 feet down.
Yeah.
A 15.
Okay. So the first thing you notice is it's just a big trash heap, right? There is a lot of the stuff that you recognize as being taken from the kobolds. There's bedrolls. There's some little sort of shivs and rusty bits of metal. There's a bent flute. You do see Miskria's horn that got stolen. You see Eltorin's crossbow bolts. And you see a number of books. You see a good 10, 12 books down there, at least, among the debris. The next thing you see is a very thick, very valuable looking jewel encrusted book. looking a lot like the one that you are after. And right in that moment, you also see that garbage pile shift a little, as if something is down there. And we're about at an hour, and I can't think of a better time to take a pause. So we're going to take our bio break here. The rest of the cast will step out of their booths after a hard day of narrating and playing D&D and get some valuable hydration. But Lauren is going to stick around for a little bit and chat with me and with y'all in the chat. So those of you in the chat, if there's any questions you would like to ask of D&D player and narrator supreme Lauren Rodriguez, now is your chance. All right, so Lauren, I know that more than anybody else in this cast, you're an avid TikTok user, and I know that you're sort of figuring out how to interact with the various communities on TikTok. So tell us a little bit about that. And does TikTok help you as a narrator, connect you to other narrators, to authors? How is TikTok helping you?
Yeah, so my me figuring out social media is throwing spaghetti at a wall, seeing what sticks. It's kind of trying different things to get there. And I connect with narrators, I connect with authors, and with readers is also a goal, but just connecting with people, interacting with people. And the fun thing about TikTok is there's a lot of everything, and that's who I help with my makeup.
Oh, fantastic. All right. And those of you who would like to follow Lauren on TikTok, what is your it is in the video description, but what is your TikTok handle?
Lauren Rodriguez VO.
All right. The chat wants to know what your favorite genre to narrate is.
I like young adult and new adult.
And for those who don't know, what is the differentiator between those two groups?
Young adult, I believe, is like between 15 and 18. And it can go a little lower sometimes, but then you start to getting into middle grade. New adult is 18, but not quite romance. There's a little bit of steam in it, but it's still not. It isn't always spicy. It's like everything is new, everything is experimental and exploratory, but still nice and energetic.
Nice. What is it about those genres that you like so much?
I just love living in that headspace of like, this is new, like we're experiencing new things. A lot of curiosity and a lot of like, they don't know their limits yet, and they're exploring their limits when it comes to like adventure and fighting. I do a lot of demon fightings, and 2 of my series that I'm currently working on, it's just like, you really don't know where the limit is.
Oh, neat. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. What's a genre that you haven't done that you would want to get into?
Oh gosh, I haven't done.
I know you've done a lot of genres, but is there something out there
I
that
think
you
there's
haven't
like
explored
a
yet?
lot of some sub-genres that I have done, because like I've done sci-fi, I've done horror, I've done paranormal, fantasy. Oh gosh. I guess I haven't really done any nonfiction yet, and I guess, that would be cool to do one, depending on the topic, of course.
Yeah,
Nonfiction can be a lot.
Yes, yeah, that is. Yeah, nonfiction is like it often gets talked as if it's one thing, but it is not.
It is
one
definitely
thing.
not.
No, it is, as you said, July, and you are coming to us from the cool and breezy state of Texas. And for those of you who are not narrators, it gets a little hot in these booths, especially because most of us, I don't know if this is true for you, most of us can't have an air conditioner going because the mic would pick it up and it wouldn't sound great. So what is summer like for you? Like, how do you as a narrator handle still doing the work that you have to do while being in that heat and that environment?
I am a professional night owl, so I do a lot of my recording at night, which helps with the heat.
Yeah.
I
Gotta do it.
actually tried to flip my schedule recently, and I realized being in here in the middle of the day is not fun.
Yeah.
That and breaks and ice packs, and sometimes working in my running gear, which is sports bra and tiny shorts.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. The chat is sympathizing with you. Matthew in the chat is saying it's 100 degrees where they are.
Yeah,
So
same.
yeah. So I know that in school, I know that you studied music and theater, right?
Yes.
So how do you bring that training and experience as a musical theater performer? How does that inform your narration? Because like it's, because we have the microphone right up here, right? So it's in some ways it's very different from the musical theater needing to just blast out to the back of the house sort of vibe. So how do you what do you bring from your musical theater background that you find useful in your narration?
What I bring is, of course, the acting,
Yes.
and also,
Yes.
interestingly enough, like working with a microphone, even if it is singing and still projecting, you learn the mechanics of the microphone, so like distance, and with that, it really is just honing in that little click to be like, okay, and now we're here with a microphone.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Nice. Nice. The chat would like to know what got you into narrating.
Short answer is a quarter life crisis.
Well, we got some time. What's the long answer?
Long answer is moving out to Los Angeles with my bachelor's in theater. Knowing I wanted to live out in Los Angeles, I got a job in reality TV. Started like just with clerk work, but then worked my way up into post-production as an assistant editor, and I was an assistant editor for years. And sitting in a edit bay, not unsimilar to this, where you're here with your computer, you're working on, Final Cut Pro, Avid, and then there's a microphone right in the corner, kind of pushed back for your scratch VO and all that other things. So like one day I was like, and I work nights.
Yeah.
I'm a professional night owl. So one day just sitting in there being like, I need to do something creative. Editing just didn't feel like it was the right path for me. And doing scratch VO one day, it's just like, maybe I should check this out. So I went to That's Voiceover Conference. I just looked up one in my area, and was at Warner Brothers that year. I'm like, cool, I can go to Warner Brothers for a day. Like, just see what will happen. And one of the panels was on audiobooks, and a point that gets made year after year is that audiobooks have doubled in sales every year for now 11 years.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's cool. But still not knowing what I wanted to do at that time, I just took basic voiceover lessons until I actually got honed into audiobook narration. And yeah, here I am today.
Right on. Fantastic. Fantastic. What was the path from LA to Texas?
The path was, this is where I grew up. This is where my family is. So pre-COVID, I just decided to come back, take a mental break, because I was figuring out narration. I haven't even been doing it for a year yet, I don't think. But I did need a break from reality TV. I was working on some very hard, heavy-hitting shows. One of them being like a docu-series on like cults and active shooters, and so it's just like, I just need a break.
Yeah.
Need a break. And then the following year, COVID happened. So my this is temporary turned into, well, let's just see what happens now. And I just haven't left yet.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So do you have you sort of continued with stage acting as well, or are you all behind the mic these days?
I am all behind the mic these days because I haven't adventured beyond anything else after COVID. I'm all like, this is comfortable. This is nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. You know, you sit in your booth and you have all this lovely stuff. Oh, the chat is asking a very different question. Who is your favorite wrestler and why is it Macho Man?
Oh,
I don't know that it is Macho Man.
I like Macho Man, but I
Okay.
had the opportunity of meeting Chris Jericho while I was working in reality TV. He was working on a pilot that was being pitched by a company renting out our space. I'm like, can I say hi? And they're like, yeah, just don't be weird about it. I'm like, okay.
Were you able to successfully not be weird about it?
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
no
like he walked out like talking to somebody, so I'm like, oh crap, I have to be a little weird about it and say like, hey, Chris Jericho, sorry to interrupt, but I was told I could say hi to you.
How was he?
Oh, he was nice. Gotta give him a little hug and yeah.
Nice. Nice. There's now a lot of love for Chris Jericho going on in the chat as well.
Yay!
Yeah, there's a lot of really good storytelling that goes on in wrestling, you know?
Oh yeah.
So sort of looping back to genres, because I know that because you mentioned, you know, you do horror and paranormal and stuff like that. So what is it that draws you to those genres? Because that feels really different from the YA and the New A stuff. What draws you
But
to that?
I do have some, one of my series I do call like a little horror new adult, paranormal. So I love horror. When I was little, I am the youngest child, my older siblings being twins, boy-girl twins. And they were just old enough where they were allowed to watch me if there was like a 3-day weekend and my parents still had to work. So they would sit me down and have me watch Nightmare on Elm Street and
perfect.
Tim Burton's Batman, which is like Penguin was scary to me at like the age of 5.
Sure. Yes. I mean, no.
Killer
Clowns are
from-
scary, and that's a creepy, droopy kind of clown. Yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space is creepy when you're 5 years old. Like it's a comedy, but like finding an appendage in my cotton candy was a real fear of mine.
Spencer's in the chat saying, "Are you afraid of the dark?" Being a gateway horror show for him.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I loved. Creepy Dolls are also was also one that I loved. I know there was an episode on Creepy Dolls on there. He was in the intro, I believe, the little creepy doll. But that's another one that I love. Dead Silence is another horror movie that I love based on creepy dolls. And
So is the horror genre really just sort of connecting back to that time for you, or does it feed you now in other ways?
I feel like because I was introduced to it so early, I got desensitized to like, oh, this is scary. I'm like, friends who watch horror with me now, they're like, you just don't react. I look at you when a scary thing pops up and you don't really react. It's like, no, it's so like I'm intrigued by like the scares now more than anything.
Fantastic. What's your favorite horror movie, or among your favorite horror movies? Or books. We should fold them in too.
Okay.
What were your favorite horror stories?
I will basically cover all of those with one.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Oh yeah, movie, TV series, and book. The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh,
Love
strong choice.
all those, and yeah, I
Yeah.
will binge watch Hill House on the series once a year.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, speaking of books, is there any book that you would like to send of yours that you'd like to send people to go check out?
Yeah, so a big one that I was shocked to be offered was Aliens Vasquez. And
Oh, cool.
I never thought breakfast would make me emotional because I don't necessarily see my culture's breakfast be emphasized the way it did in that book, which is we would save the eggs when we make eggs, and we would turn those into confetti eggs to then crack on each other's heads on Easter. And so to see that represented in a book, I have never seen that before. So it made me emotional to see that presented, and just little things like that that I never realized was missing in what I was consuming. To be then narrating was really nice. And
That's
of course,
really cool.
Aliens.
Yeah,
Of course.
of course. That was my horror gateway, was being taken to seeing Aliens in the theater when I was far too young to watch it. All right. Well, thank you very much, Lauren, for foregoing your hydration break to sit and chat with us. Everybody, come on back, and we will pick the action up with Ulfgar looking down into this pit, which seems to have in it, among many other things, one of the objects you came to recover. But there also seems to be something else in there.
Can I have a quick sidebar?
Sure.
I have something. So Calden is back with, assuming maybe Miskria is back there. So I'd like to call her over. Hey, Miskria, it looks like we have a break in the action real quick. Before we go any further, I did get you something in the Kobold Bazaar. I have something that I want you to have. He reaches into his jacket and he pulls out the fake glass ear, the fake diamond earring. It's clearly glass. He says, I know that for you, the difference between what things seem and what they actually are is a key component of how you look at the world. And although this isn't really a real diamond earring by any stretch, it did make me think of you when I saw it. I wish it was something a little bit nicer, but it is a memento of all the creatures and people, myself included, that you helped to save back there in the Kobold School area. So before we continued, I would like to give this to you and say thanks, and I'm glad you're here. He hands over
Thank
the
you,
sort of
Colin.
glass, cheap, chintzy theater earring. It says, it may not be much, but it's a way to remember this crazy adventure we've been on. That's my little sidebar. Wait for comment if she doesn't have anything, which she may not in character. We can flash back to the whole.
I feel like eventually this might be inlaid. I'm not a jewelry person, but maybe I'll inlay this into a weapon in the future.
All right. So with plans to bring the cheap piece of costume jewelry into your fighty stabby work, we return to this section that you're in, with this pit and this other hallway leading off. What would you guys like to do?
So is it something's moving down there, like rats, the size of rats, or like a dog? Or is this like the whole thing is kind of shaking and moving?
The whole thing sort of
Undulating.
it's not a lot of little skittery movements. It's more like there's a thing in there.
All right, well, there's a lot of stuff down there that we're looking for and that we lost.
How far down from the edge of the pit is it?
The
Is it
layer of debris is 20 feet down this pit. There is no way of telling how deep that debris layer is.
So, but from the edge of the pit to the top of the debris layer is 20 feet?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So,
And
Maybe use
you
the
have the
rope of
ability to walk
climbing?
down walls.
so that we
Yeah,
can like
I could-
control how far we want to go down, kick the pile a little, maybe.
The rope of climbing, that's a better idea.
Can it? Here's sort of a technical question about
Sure.
the rope.
Yeah.
Is it something? It's not something that we could magically suspend. Say, if the book, were in the middle of the pile, and we couldn't reach it from an edge. I'm assuming that the rope has to be draped naturally over the
Yes.
edge. It can't be like brink.
It is a rope of
perpendicular.
climbing, not a rope of go fetching things.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
It's a go fetch rope.
Yeah, and the book itself, the pit itself is pretty wide. It's a good 30 feet wide, and the book itself is about 10 feet off the edge.
If I had a long stick.
But how far high is the ceiling? Can the rope technically go from the ceiling and like?
The ceiling is about, let's say the ceiling is 25 feet high. So distance from ceiling to junk is 45 feet.
Okay, and the rope is 60 feet long.
It's either 50 or 60 feet long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that can technically go if we wanted to go closer to the area where the book was, we could technically just tie it up right above it and it would be fine.
I will tell you that as you look up, there isn't an obvious place for that rope to tie onto.
How about
But you
Isn't that
perhaps
for the
could-
rope to decide?
No, what I'm saying is, it looks right above. It's a vaulted roof, so it is pretty smooth up there.
Well, how about
you'd have to contrive some way of making that
how
happen.
about tying it around that diamond structure in the middle? How far is that from the hole?
That is about 40 feet from the hole.
Oh wow.
It is a long haul, and the diamond thing is.
And
in
there's
the middle.
nothing else around that we could affix the rope to?
Well, don't I have something in my pack for this?
Do you?
Yeah, I've got one of those. What is it called?
Grapple
Stick in the
hooks?
ground?
Pitons? or-
Pythons?
Yeah, I've got one. I think. Let me check here. Yeah, it's in my pack. It's a utility item.
Yeah,
I didn't
that'll
think I
work.
was going to need it, but I did sort of put that in my mind since I knew we were coming underground. I do have one of those that we could
Okay.
hammer into the ground or smash into the ground in some way if we wanted to rappel down.
And have you a hammer as well? You probably
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
could do that.
That's what it's for, is to hammer that thing into stone.
Theoretically, we could send El Torin walking down as well, but that seems a little.
Well, what I would think
Risky.
perhaps El Torn would suggest I might be, well, I don't know, perhaps the boots of jumping might help Ulfgar leap out. But if I were to be disconnected from the rope down there, I would have an easier time of perhaps getting to a wall and being able to walk myself out. So I'd be willing to take if you want to loop the rope around me and lower me down, and then I'll try to grab the book, and if something happens, then I might be able to get myself out.
I like that idea. Anybody else got anything to add before I hammer this thing in and we do it?
I say do it.
All right, let's rock and roll. So Calden will produce the hammer and
Okay.
Ethan, hammer that thing in, close-ish enough, safe
Sure.
distance from the lip.
Okay.
And I guess Miss Kriya, can we borrow your? We don't really need it for that, do we? I have some hempen rope we could use. If you want to hang on
Or
to
maybe
that.
save the magic rope for if we need to get another line down.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So,
Actually, I have 50
affixing
feet
affixing a
rope.
normal rope to that python, and
Piton.
your piton. We need to know this. I'm
Actually, I
sure.
didn't know either.
How are there 5 audiobook narrators on this stream and nobody's looked up the actual pronunciation yet?
It's
a little appalling.
It's Piton.
It's piton. All right, fantastic.
It's Piton.
Okay.
I promise.
So we have affixed the piton into the floor, tied a regular rope to it. And Altorin, what are you doing?
Gonna tie the rope around myself. Maybe
Okay.
get some. If anybody wants to double check my knot, but try to tie the rope so that I can be lowered down and perhaps raised back out once having grabbed the book.
Okay.
Hey, Eltorin, how are you looking on health?
I'm in good shape. I'm feeling hardy.
Okay. Ulfgar is gonna come up and kind of put my hand on your shoulder and say, may Mistra guide your steps and watch out for you. So you're gonna get advantage on your next initiative roll.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Should something happen?
Should something happen?
Probably won't.
What could possibly go wrong?
I always feel adventurous when he says that to me, and I don't know why. Makes me
So-
feel so energized.
So you begin to lower yourself down. Are you using
Well,
your
I was actually
boots to
hoping
walk on
that
the wall?
perhaps Miscria would lower me down.
Okay.
But I could walk down the side until I get closer.
Okay. So strolling down the slide, you're now maybe about 5 feet away from that trash pile. There, and as I said, there's got to be easily a dozen books scattered around here. And the one you are looking for, the jewel-encrusted Legends of the Earth's Lord Dread, sits 10 feet out from the wall.
And I wish I'd taken Mage Hand, but I didn't. All right, well, Eltorin will get down below. He'll sort of signal for a little more slack, and as it comes, he's going to try to push himself out and then swing down towards the book. So having to touch the trash heap for as little as possible before he touches down and grabs the book.
Okay. And is somebody then trying to pull you back quickly? Is that how that's going?
That was the plan.
Okay.
It's going to be up to them. It's out of my hands now.
And who's doing the pulling?
Probably Miscria.
Okay.
Do you have a strength? You have a good strength score?
So
We could probably do a couple people could probably work on it, right? Could team up.
you all three could be doing it.
Strength. Yeah.
Okay, so there's 3 issues. There's the length of the leap, there is the timing of the pullback, and then there's the speed of the pullback. So we're going to do those in order. So let's start with the leap. Make for me, please, an athletics check.
All right.
What is your base strength, by the way?
Athletics? Athletics just all right. My base strength?
Yeah.
Base strength is 8.
Okay. Not super jumpy, but you only have to travel a couple feet with outstretched hands to make it to the book.
I was kind of hoping to do acrobatics on this one.
It's how far can you push yourself with your muscles? That is a strength issue. But only needing to get an extra couple feet on that leap. I'm going to set the DC pretty low. Let's say it's an 8 that you need to make.
All right.
And what was it?
The digital die rocked on the 20 and then went over to the 8. And so -1 is 7.
-1 is 7. Okay. So good news, very close to the book. Bad news, don't have it yet. So you jump and right down onto that big pile of stuff, and it just rocks out with that pressure wave of you landing.
Like a waterbed?
Yeah, kind of like that, like a trash covered waterbed. And what I would like everyone to do, wait, how do I do this? Yes, here's how we do it. What I would like everyone to do now that that has happened is to give me an initiative roll.
I get advantage on this, right?
Yes, you sure do.
Oh, right. Calvin has rolled a 13.
Ulfgar's got a 5.
Well, thank you for trying. 10.
Miss Greer has a 9.
Okay. All right, so there is that just a moment of as you slam into that debris field and things start to rock, and that book is just a few inches away from your outstretched hands, your friends ready to pull you, waiting until you have it. Unfortunately, Calden got a 13, Altorin got a 10, but the thing underneath got a 14. You guys see two They look almost like, at first you think they're actually serpents, the way they burst up on either side of Eltorin. Then you realize they are tentacles with a grabbing pad covered with spikes, and both of them curl towards you, Eltorin, as 2 tentacle attacks get made on you. The first one is a 16 to hit, and the second is a 22.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can do a silvery barbs on one of those. So let's see if they'll
Sure.
roll again.
Okay, so the 16 became a 23, unfortunately.
Well, we'll take the 16. All right. Both of those will hit.
Okay, so you take a total of, from the bludgeoning damage, just from the force of these things smacking into you, is 13 points of damage.
Ouch.
The piercing damage from
there's
those
more.
spikes is a 10. So that is 23 points of damage all day. So you guys see Eltorin just get wrecked as these tentacles wrap around him, and very much grappled. They do wrap. They hit and wrap, and you see those grabbing pads clinging onto him. Carlton, what are you going to do?
All right. So
Holy
but the
cow.
silvery barbs, I guess, will settle around myself.
Okay.
For the next advantage roll.
Sure.
Well, that seems like a big decision, big reaction decision to make here. How far down is the pit?
20 feet.
And I'm gonna. Oh man, I don't know that I can jump down there and make
You
an
certainly
attack at
can.
the same time. I mean, I guess I could take a crack.
Yeah.
There's not much else
Well,
to do at
you
this
can do it.
point.
pull.
So, realizing that Eltorn is in trouble, Galden, shouts out, "Oh, he needs help!" Jumps down, knives out,
Okay.
going for the tentacles that have encircled Eltorin.
All right. So you'd certainly get to those tentacles before you go crashing into the trash heap yourself. So let's start with your first attack roll.
Okay, that's going to be a 14.
A 14 hits. And you definitely get your sneak attack advantage on this. By the way, the chat has decided that we have another band name going on. Trash Covered Waterbed is like the for some bad emo group or something.
Yeah, playing in a dive bar in 2002 or something.
Yeah.
Not Cal's most spectacular showing. His dagger was a 3 and the sneak
Okay.
attack was a 4. So we have a total of 7 to these tentacles.
All right. So I will say that was enough to do a lot of damage to that tentacle, but not enough to sever it. You do still have one more attack.
Let's see if we can finish this thing off.
Okay.
So I need to roll for a hit again. Is that correct? And the hit is an 18.
That hits.
and
You don't
the
get your sneak
damage
attack, but you do get your
is
dagger
A
bonus.
4.
All right. So that one tentacle you slice through. It is still connected to your friend, but no longer connected to whatever was
The
underneath.
thing.
So Eltorin, you are still grappled by one tentacle, not two. Meanwhile, as you crash into that big pile of junk, you are going to take 2 points of damage. Not the 2d6 falling, just the 1d6, because there's a little cushion, but there's a lot of sharp stabby things down there.
Oh,
So you
man.
are going to take 3 piercing damage. So you're going to take 5
3
damage all day from the fall.
Okay, let's add that in. All right.
And that
Take
was
that.
your... I'm going to say you've got 10 feet of movement left. The fall was 20 feet of movement. If you want to do anything with it, you can.
Get the book.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, I'm debating whether I want to kill the thing first or snag the book. So the book is right there.
Yeah, you
I
can
don't know
pick
if
it
I
up with a free action. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's.
All right.
It seems a little cruel while Eltorin is bleeding out, but
Well,
I'm
you-
going to snatch the book up.
Did
All
what you're
right.
going to be able to do.
And if it's possible for me to still move away from this towards the edge.
Yeah, it is as you sort of move and roll up, you see that it's like The ground under your feet feels spongy and soft, like you're standing on, like you're in a peat bog of some kind, almost, or maybe the back of a creature. You don't know, but you can only get about 5 feet of movement as you're sort of waist deep in this garbage pile. So you're 5 feet from the edge, and that brings us to Miss Gria.
Okay, I gotta. I can't watch this. I gotta rush in and save them. So, running, die, flip, land.
Okay.
Oh,
hang on. I apologize. I apologize. Hold on to that, because I just blew right over Eltorin.
Yeah,
Eltorin, you are up before Miss Gria. So, Miss Gria, you're preparing your leap, and you see Eltorin do what?
All right. Let's see. I don't want to use that one. All right. Eltorin will got this thing on him. He's gonna take his hand, and sparks are gonna come across it, and he's gonna grab the tentacle in a shocking grasp.
Okay. That's an attack roll, right?
Yep.
Go for it.
That is a 14 to hit.
That hits.
Nicely done.
All right. All of 2 damage.
Yeah, not enough to break you free.
All right. Then Eltorin is going to reach inside and channel some of his sorcery points. That is going to do a quicken spell.
Nice.
When you cast a spell that has a casting time of 1 action, spend 2 sorcery points to change the casting time to 1 bonus action for this casting.
Fantastic. Okay.
So he's going to cast again. Oh, and which one though? Let's see. Which one to cast? I guess. You know what? I think he's just gonna try to do the same thing and shocking grasp it again.
Maybe with the
9 to hit.
9 does not hit, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. I had. You know what? I had advantage on that first one. I forgot about that. Can I maybe?
Hey, let's call
take one more roll to see if I...
let's call those 2 rolls your rolls with advantage. We know 1 hit, so let's do another roll to be this attack.
All right, 22.
That's a hit.
All right, come on, better on damage. All right, 6 damage this time.
6 damage. So doing a total of 8 damage to this tentacle so far. Still not enough though to get it to release.
Well, that was my main action and bonus action. If I'm grappled, I can't move.
That's true.
So,
look up.
I'll just
on the 3rd day.
Be ready to
Help will come.
pull us. Somebody be ready to pull us up.
All right, Miss Gria.
All right, that'll be it.
So would you rather me pull you up rather than?
Well, we're in combat, so we're not going to have a
without-
lot of discussion.
Max
You're
is
going to do
hushing us.
whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do.
They're yelling at me to pull them up, so I guess I gotta pull them up.
Okay. So this is kind of a contested check between you and this tentacle, but this tentacle is pretty badly damaged. So I'm going to have it make its athletics check at disadvantage. So contested athletics, it's at disadvantage. You are at your regular roll.
For
Athletics.
athletics. Okay, sorry. Oh, at disadvantage.
It's
It
at
is, not you.
You're okay.
Oh, okay. 24.
24 versus it getting a 1. You don't just break him free, you rip that
Sever
remaining
that
tentacle
thing.
off.
Like
and
calamari.
yeah, Eltorin, you get yoinked right out of there. A little violently against the side wall about halfway up, and then you pull and you get his body up just over the lip with your action. On a 24 against a 1, absolutely you get him all the way out of there.
Wow.
Absolutely. That was your action. Anything else you want to do?
Looking at bonus actions really fast.
I don't think you've got a lot of
No.
bonus actions that would apply here.
No, I was just double checking that. No, I'm good.
All right, Ulfgar, you are up. Eltorn has been pulled out and is pretty badly hurt. Calden is still down there.
Guys!
And how many more tentacles are we seeing?
None that you see.
All right, so we really just need to get him out. I'm gonna ready Sacred Flame.
Okay.
For if I see one of them, I'm gonna hit it.
Okay. And that brings us to the top of the order. So you are about to see one tentacle bursts up, coming to grab. Go ahead and make a Sacred Flame attack on it.
That's a deck save.
Oh, that is a dex save. That is a 4. Do your damage.
Got a 4.
Okay. Not enough to destroy that tentacle. So it does make that tentacle attack against Calden. That's a 7. So it misses. That Sacred Flame was enough to make it flinch and turn back. So the tentacle does not grab Calden. However, Calden, you called it. You are running along. You feel this thing shift underneath you, and in front of you as you're running towards the wall, the garbage heap begins to swell as something begins to rise, something massive begins to rise up out of this heap, and you see just sort of this flat head begin to emerge, and then a massive jaw full of teeth that tries to twist around and bite you.
Nightmarish.
And that bite is a 23.
Yeah, that chomps.
All right.
Chomps good.
Can I silvery barbs that?
You certainly can.
All right. Gonna try to make a roll again.
15.
It still hits.
Okay. So
My
you
armor class
take
is real pathetically low.
8 piercing and 4 acid for a total of 12.
Okay, let's do
As
that.
it takes a big bite out of your leg.
Still okay, but
You are not caught in the jaws, nor are you swallowed whole. So that's a positive.
look on the bright side.
Yeah, look on the bright side. And it is your turn.
Okay. I'm not really sure. I think I'm trapped down here. I don't think I have many options to get out. I can breathe if it brings water up, but besides that, not much else. So, I think, okay, what I'll do, this thing's mouth, its beak. I mean, is it sort of octopus-like, I assume?
It's closest to like a cross between a hippo and a crocodile. Big gaping mouth, lots of sharp teeth, very flat.
Now, since the mouth is closed, are its eyes visible?
Yes.
'Cause I want to take
2 little flat eyes off on the
2
side.
little flat eyes on the side. So I think I'm going to try to stab its eye.
Ooh.
Let's see
Okay.
about how that works out. And it doesn't. Oh, it might. It's a 10.
Not on a 10, no.
And I think, let's see, with a bonus action,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to try to keep moving towards the edge. So I want to move sort of as close to my friends as I can, so that by hook
you've
or
got
by crook I can get
you're 5 feet from the
5
wall.
away from where
So
Eltorin just was rocketed up.
and
I
your
assume.
speed is 30. So you'd get to the wall and have 25 feet of movement left. Climbing is at half speed. So you can get about halfway up.
Oh,
And
I
this
didn't
thing,
realize this was a climbable thing.
yeah, I mean, it's a stone. You can try to climb it.
I was imagining like a well. May as well.
Yeah.
I want out of here. So I want to get as high up as
All
I
right.
can.
It does get an opportunity attack against you as you go. It lashes out at you with that tentacle.
Just uses bonus action to
yeah,
disengage.
despite the.
Oh,
bonus
I'm sorry.
action.
I thought you were using bonus
Can't I
action to
slip
dash.
away?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely
no.
you
I
can.
don't want to dash. I just want to get away from this thing.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
Maybe that limits
You
how far I
you
can
duck.
get.
No, you're good. You duck under that flashing tentacle and you climb up. So he ends his turn about 12 and a half feet away from you guys. And that brings us
Wild-eyed.
to that brings us to you, Eltor. Yeah, and you guys look down. You see that big gaping mouth underneath.
Pull me up.
Does it look like that thing can get out of there and come after us?
You do not see a lot of its body, so you don't know.
And Calden is not all the way up yet.
Nope.
Let's see, is there enough of the slack on the rope that is around Eltorn that he can sling some of it down and Calden can catch it?
I'd say you'd have to untie it from yourself, but untying it would be your action, and it's already in your hands, so it'd be easy enough to just toss it down towards him. Yeah.
All right, let's do that then.
Okay.
Eltorn will untie the rope and sling it down for Calden and help him pull him up.
All right, so Calden, the rope lands right next to you. You can't grab onto it this turn, but it is at least right next to you. Anything else, or is that your turn?
I think that's probably my turn.
Okay,
Grab the rope,
Miscria.
Calden.
Miscria, that brings us to you.
So I can't do anything but like watch for a moment.
It's up to
I
you.
mean, like as far as like helping him up, I can't like just.
Could maybe ready.
You could ready an action to pull as soon as he grabs onto that rope. You could do that.
Would it be? I think I'm. Wait. Divine favor only works for damage, so I can't do this in like. No, okay. You know what? Fine. I will ready an action to pull, I guess.
Okay. Brings us to Ulfgar.
Scary, watching your friend waiting.
I will look
Everyone's-
down and say, Mistra, lend me your gaze. And a giant beam of moonlight will drop
Oh, I
onto
like
the
that
creature.
spell.
Okay. Which I think really takes effect on its turn,
Correct.
which is next, unless you have any movement you want to do.
No, I'm just gonna watch, see what happens.
All right, is this a Constitution saving throw?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 9.
Oh, perfect. I also got a 9, so take 9 radiant, I believe.
Okay, and it opens its mouth, but then that sizzling moonlight on it, you see it twist and screech and duck under the water and slide away to get out of that painful light, taking it away from Calden and therefore unable to attack. And Calden, it is your turn. The rope is right next to you.
And he grabs the rope. Grab the rope.
And Miscria, give us an athletics check for your pull.
Athletics. That is a 6.
So
I
you
used all my
gra-
strength.
So you
on
grab the
Eltorn.
Out
rope
of my hand.
and no, I'm gonna say you're a speedy little rogue. I'm gonna say that with the aid of this rope, you're able to zip up to the lip, and Miscria only begins to pull after you're kind of already
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Here.
And there's this beat where you're all looking to see what happens. And you see that flat, wide head easily. I mean, this head itself is 15 feet across, sort of up, eyeball you guys a little bit, and then sink back down. And you guys are out of initiative if you don't want to try to retrieve anything else from there. If you do want to try to retrieve more things, you will have to stay with it. But if you guys want to, it is clearly leaving you alone up there. So it's up
And
to
we
you
don't-
whether to return the favor.
We don't see anything that looks like dragon glasses down there.
No.
Wait, we cut our losses?
You know, wincing.
Pretty.
My legs busted up. I'm assuming Eltorn also looks disheveled.
Eltorn looks more than disheveled. Eltorn is pulling a tentacle out of his arm with these spikes, and
Yeah.
Eltorn looks in bad shape.
I'd like
A
to
little-
check
Can
his
I?
wound with acid
Let's see,
damage or
Eltorn's got a
something.
healing potion. He's going to start with that. What's that? What is that? 1d4 plus. Right, we have
Healing potion is 2d4 plus 2.
Wait, do we have those or do we not?
I don't think
Or
you
am
do.
Oh, never mind. I don't have one of those. I don't know why I
think
thought we
do.
did.
I searched.
I'll
looking for
cast
one.
Cure Wounds on each of you.
That
So
would be
let's
All right,
do
feels good.
Eltorin, you can have 10,
Wow.
and Calden can have 8.
Let's get that.
Eltorn is still looking pretty ragged.
Wounds knit a little bit.
If he wasn't a tough dragon ancestor sorcerer, he probably would have gone down from that.
Yeah, I thought you were dead. That was a lot of damage.
Yeah. I was curious at sending the squishiest of your party down into the.
Eltorn's not that bad. I think Kalden's probably squishier than Eltorn is.
That might be.
I didn't expect you to loose the Kraken.
Yeah, well, that was not the plan. It was not the plan, Kalden. I didn't mean to disturb the creature.
It is interesting that Miscreant and I are at the back of all of these fights tonight.
Right?
Oh yeah, no, but right after you.
Well, we have.
The best defense is a good letting other people go first.
You don't happen to have any more of those cures, do you?
I can give you. I'll give you one more.
Thank you.
Please be good. Okay, 8.
I'll take it. Starting to feel better.
We still haven't looked down the other passageway either.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll find the glasses down that way. We found the book for the librarian, but we can't go up without the glasses for the Lord of Linguists.
No, it's best to stay on the good side of a dragon, I've found.
I'm curious if maybe detect magic will help me find glasses.
Sure, it could. It certainly would let you know if there was anything magic down in the pit.
All right, so should we
It
do
would
this?
answer that question definitively.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. So as you cast Detect Magic, unfortunately, nothing in that pit is magical. But at least that resolves the question that the glasses you're looking for are not down there.
Perhaps that's what the scanner detects as magic items.
Potentially. Yeah,
Maybe.
makes sense.
I'll have to go the other way.
All right. Yep, let's go the other way.
All right. So getting the other way, heading down that corridor, as you head down it, that sound of rushing water gets louder. You eventually open up into what looks like essentially an old library. It's a large room with long rows of bookcases, a few reliquaries off on the side. The rushing water is coming from the far wall, which is partly given way as a flow of a fairly rapid flow of an underground river that has found its way into this former dwarven city, has pushed through that wall and is bisecting this room, such that where you are has these bookcases with, and they're pretty empty, but there's some stuff laid on it. The other side of the river looks like it was a reading area at one point. Stone chairs, some once padded chairs, but the centuries have not been kind to the padding. Sit next to long ago extinguished reading lamps, little side tables by them. On the far wall, there is an archway exit, not a door, just an archway heading off into another tunnel. And where you are is, as I said, there are these sort of old bookcases that do have some stuff on them.
And the exit is on the opposite side of the bisected river? Okay.
No, the exit is on your side.
It's with
the
us.
bisected river and the reading room is all over on the other side.
Okay.
Can we see anything over there? Can we see where the those machines might have been bringing the items they were carrying?
Well, there's a bunch of stuff that is on the old bookshelves. The sort of low bookshelves, maybe about 4 feet high, that stretch through the space. And there's stuff stacked on those. So that's probably where that stuff was brought.
Is Miss Kria's detect magic still working?
Yes, it is. And there is some stuff here that is glowing. And I'm just going to give this... being Ulfgar, I think you have enough of a natural advantage on this that I'm just going to give this to you. Everything that you see here on these shelves is of dwarven make or design. There are some old dusty potion flasks, most of which have dried out, but a few still seem to have some contents in them. There's an exquisitely crafted shield with dwarven art across it. There are some decorative plates showing some lovely scenes of dwarven domestic life, a lot of indoor mushroom farming. There is a belt which is glowing. And there are lots of books here. None of the books are glowing, but their covers are all in Dwarvish.
Okay.
Any glasses?
No.
Like that might be a dragon-sized glasses?
No.
Might be cool to check out that shield from Miscria, though. I'm assuming she's got a shield. Should we have a look at that thing?
I will just tell you, since you've got Detect Magic up, that is a shield +1.
A shield +1.
A shield +1?
That's more
That's
plus
like-
ones
Switch that
than your
out?
current shield.
Yeah.
Hey, Miscria,
How about that
are
belt?
you're strength-based weapons, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So take a look at that belt.
The belt has the face of sort of the belt buckle is the face of a glowery dwarf with a big bushy beard. And it is, you don't get the exact enchantment, but it looks pretty powerful.
The belt.
It's not what I thought it was. So
We'll take it. Won't leave it.
Yeah, let's... I'm assuming nothing... No.
If
I'll
you
put
don't
it
want
on.
to risk putting it on, that's understandable, but I don't
no, I'll
think...
put it on.
Bad's gonna happen.
So
We get something
who's putting it
good.
on?
I'll put it on. It's got a
Okay.
dwarf on it. I'm a dwarf. This is
All
perfect.
right.
To check out.
So I'm going to put the description of this item into our... Oh, can I put it into our chat? No. I can put it into our... No, I'll just tell you. So it is almost like a belt of dwarven kind, and if you would like to equip a belt of dwarven kind, you certainly can. This is the belt of dwarven unkindness. This is a like a belt of dwarven kind, but it's got some extra effects here. For one thing, does Ulfgar already have a beard?
Oh yes, it's quite nice.
Elfgar's beard just bursts forth into
Dragon Ball
extra
Z rule?
magnificent fullness. And if there's any particular sort of, especially if it's a dwarven styling that you think this beard would instantly attain, then please describe it to us.
Oh yeah, large single braid right down the middle.
Fantastic. However, the other side effect of this belt is that you now refuse to speak any language other than Dwarvish, as it is the most proper and delightful language in the multiverse. And anyone who tries to get you to speak anything other than Dwarvish is going to have to run some checks to get you to do it. You don't want to speak. And why would you? Why, especially here in this ancestral home, would you do anything other than honor your kin and your heritage by speaking the best language of all, which is Dwarvish?
And I can understand you and speak back.
Oh, perfect. Then I can just keep talking about these two that keep running to the front line.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I cannot understand that. I can understand Dwarvish.
All right. Well, this is
Would have been
Seems-
cool if Miss Korea put it on. Calden would just like to sort of smirkingly laugh.
All right,
You know what?
to
It's
put
okay
that on
because we
later.
can also make fun of him for rushing down Tennel's head first.
And as we
It
are
goes both ways.
And as we are coming near 10, and this is our last session, and I don't want to run too much over time, I'm just going to tell you that those two remaining potions are potions of healing. So you guys have 2 potions of healing.
Tor would like to drink a potion of healing.
Yeah, go for it. 2d4 plus 2.
So would Calden.
2d4 plus 2.
Okay.
And there's a number of books here in Dwarvish. 2 are books on mechanical engineering. One is called Advanced Robotic Design, and the other is called Sprockets for Dummies. There are 4 children's books. James and the Giant Goodberry, a swiftly tilting planescape. And if you give a dragon a gold piece, classic of children's literature. And if the chat wants to kick in with the fourth title, the chat is welcome to.
I think we'll
I'm gonna
probably
leave
I
try
the
to-
love
fourth
if you
title
give
to
a
the chat.
dragon a gold piece.
We'll collect up these books to return. But we definitely want to try to find those glasses.
And there is a book of jokes in Dwarvish. For example, what do you call a magician who's incredibly good with cooking?
What?
A sorcerer. What is a rogue's favorite armor?
What?
Hide.
Hide mail.
These are the sorts of jokes that are in this book. So again, if the chat wants to kick in
Blackmail.
some more of these dwarvish dad jokes, you're more than welcome to.
I'll read off the titles to everybody in Dwarvish, of course.
Of
but
course.
As if it helps you if I read them.
Yeah. The other title, by the way, according to the chat, is the Iron Goliath.
Goliath.
Nice.
So Miss Greer, you picked up If You Give a Dragon a Gold Piece. Anybody taken any other book?
I think we should
I'll
probably
take
take
these.
as many
Definitely
as
wanna
we
take
can
them.
carry to return to the library.
All right, great. So you gather up these. I guess it's a total of 7 books. And I'm presuming you make your way to that archway exit.
Before we step through,
Yeah.
and I know we're super quick on time, but I want to pull El Torin aside real quick for just a quick sidebar and say, hey, El Torin,
Yes, Calden.
it's been amazing journeying with you down here, and
It's been interesting.
you may have remembered back at the Cobalt Bazaar, I picked up a couple of items, but I wanted to give you something as a memento of our time together because it looks like it's coming to a close. Now, I know that you're particularly fastidious about your clothes and keeping clean, and so this isn't much, but it would honor me and my friends if maybe you would accept this thread and maybe include it in a part of your cloak or something, maybe your undergarments if you're particularly unfond of us. But I wanted to leave you with something as a way of remembering us and the journey that we've had together so far before we either find what we're looking for or die.
I appreciate the sentiment, Calden. You have surprised me on this trip, and I have the greatest respect for you and your companions. I'm pleased to have been a part of this with you. Thank you for the gift.
And thank you.
No, they say never look a gift horse in the mouth, but does detect magic have anything to do like is it detecting anything on this gem or these whatever he just gave him?
No, it isn't.
That would have been a good trick,
By the way, the chat is asking, why do paladins wear chain armor?
Why?
Because it's so holy.
Yes, that is the answer, because it is holy. Well done. I'm going to give you inspiration for guessing
Crits
the
for the rest of
punchline.
the night.
Yeah, there you go. So as you step towards this tunnel that leads out, you see I'm pretty sure it's only about 8 feet before it ends in a massive iron door. The door itself is carved in the likeness of a powerful dwarven mage just at the height of his powers. This carving just exudes magical ability, wisdom, potency, and that particular blend of insight and otherworldliness that super powerful mages seem to have about them. The hallway itself is painted in a giant fresco depicting this same mage in battle with a powerful blue dragon. Spells, lightning, the whole thing, they're grappled together. The dragon is tamed and defeated, and finally the dragon and the wizard sitting next to each other in large comfy chairs, each reading a book and drinking some tea. And above, the arch above the door has a carving in it, in Dwarven, of course, and the carving says this: books bring understanding. Understanding brings love. Love brings peace.
Calvin would like to ask Ulfgar, foolishly, what does that say?
I'll read it in Dwarvish.
But he can't translate it.
Yeah.
So I had
what
to
does
translate it.
say?
Yeah.
I don't know if Cal has really picked up on what the belt does yet. It's kind of,
No.
you know. Okay, Miss Korea, maybe you've relayed the information.
Yes, I relayed the information, and Miss Kriya is probably tearing up a little because she loves it.
By the way, before you guys open this door, the chat is asking if you've heard that barbarians are really popular right now.
Why?
Why is that?
They're all the rage.
They're all the rage. If I can solve more of these, I need to become more
That's right.
divinely inspired.
All right, go through the door.
All right, so you open that door, and that door opens into a massive circular room, easily 100 feet across, with decorative pillars running around the walls. From the ceiling, arcing high above you, dangle periodically these green glass lamps that cast this warm light throughout the entire space. Above them, the ceiling is carved in these sort of ridge lines that give the appearance that you're looking not at the spine of books, but at the flip side of books, right? Covers and pages of some massive stone tomes that this room feels like it's sitting beneath. The center of the room is dominated by a 20-foot tall statue of that dwarven wizard, in turn standing upon a 15-foot plinth that looks like a stack of books. One hand is holding an open book, not a physical book, a giant carved metal book, and the other hand holds a wand. On this dwarven wizard's face sit a pair of metal-rimmed crystal eyeglasses that sparkle in the light. The walls of this circular room have been breached by the underground river that is cutting through here, cuts this room in two. It enters from behind you and then curves, so that basically a quarter of the room is cut off on the other side of this swiftly flowing river. Evenly spaced about the room are these lecterns, these empty lecterns. And by each lectern stands a mechanical dwarf. One seeming male, two seeming female, one not sure. You know, the performative elements of gender from a long ago civilization, you don't completely know, but it seems that this dwarf robot doesn't fit easily into either male or female gender categories. All four of them, though, their hair, the metal of the robot is done up like they're in tight buns. Each wears glasses, little just sort of metallic glasses on their eyes, and is decorated with a nice, comfy, cozy kind of cardigan sweater. And they are just standing there.
Could you remind me what the inscription said one more time before we go any further into this
The
room?
inscription says, books bring understanding. Understanding brings love. Love brings peace.
Is there anything on these lecterns that the dwarves are at? They're
No,
empty?
They are empty.
Is there anything else in the room that is around the room?
I will tell you that one of those lecterns is on the other side of the swiftly flowing river. But other than that and the giant statue, no.
How many books did we pick up in the previous room?
Quite a bunch.
It sounds like that's what we're doing.
Go ahead and take a...
Let's try.
All right. As you step in, those robots swing their heads around to notice you. The statue of the wizard also, that head rotates in your direction. Please roll initiative, everybody.
Oh.
I was hoping the wizard would stay still. Cal has rolled an 18.
Miss Kriya rolled a 4.
All right, I've got your initiatives in here. So the first thing that happens before anybody acts is a lair action. The wizard looking at you, I think will pick the dwarf. I think Ulfgar, you feel the gaze of this wizard lock onto you, and a wave of knowledge rolls through your head as the book in its hand glows, and an entire book's worth of information gets crammed into your brain all at once. And I'd like you to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
All right. Okay. 18.
18, that is a success. So instead of taking 5 psychic damage, you take 2, and you are not stunned by the sudden blast of knowledge.
And now you know Kung Fu.
Yeah, indeed. And now it is Calden's turn.
Okay, I believe that I at least have the book that we're coming for. I hope that I have at least a couple others, because I'd
Sure.
rather use one of the other ones first. To make sure I understand the lay of the room, the statues are in one place, and then there are sort of
The big
Dais
statue is in the middle of the room.
Right.
Those lecterns are evenly spread around. It's
Okay.
100 feet across, which means it's a 300-foot ish circumference. You're kind of right in the middle. You'd think I would have done this math before, but you're wrong. 75 feet. So I'm going to say that there's one lectern that's actually it works out to be just about right. 30 feet diagonally in one direction, 30 feet diagonally in another.
and one of them, to be clear, I think you mentioned this before, is on the other side of the water.
One of them is on the other side of the water, yes.
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to do is test our theory. So, having understood the inscription, Cal realizes that there may be some sort of trickery afoot. So he will head for that first lectern and put a book on it, and the book will be, if you give a dragon a gold piece.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure Mystery called dibs on that
She
one.
got that one? Okay.
I got that
Yeah.
one.
I got one of the other ones.
Okay, so you put
wanted to bring more
you put
cuteness out.
sprockets for dummies on that
Brackets for dummies.
on that, and
I would have picked that up.
the robot by it was turning to you as you put that on. Its head moves over to the book, and it moves and stands next to the book, and does nothing else. That
Okay.
was your turn.
It is. I would like to...
You do have a bonus action if
I was
you want.
I may take a bonus action.
Yeah.
I'm debating whether or not to move again. I think
That was your full movement to get there.
that was including the... Okay, I guess that's a dash, disengage, or hide is what I can do as a cunning action, but that's
No,
okay.
there's nowhere
'cause
to hide.
I was going to master of tactician someone anyway.
Ooh, okay, fabulous.
Presumably somebody... let's see, the turn order... It doesn't matter. Let's go for Ulfgar, since we are in the chamber of his people. I would like to... Although, can I talk to him? Does that matter? Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. Can you
Yeah,
understand
and
me?
we are in
This
combat,
is
so I
like
don't think you get to puzzle it out this long.
I don't mean that. I mean like as my skill. As I think it's
No.
speech-based? As
Yeah.
the master of tactics? I'm saying
I still understand.
in the game. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
giving my hand gestures. He
Yeah.
realizes what's happening. And this will give you advantage.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
El Torn, that brings us to you.
All right. Well, there's another of these lecterns that is within 30 feet. So El Torn will sprint over to that one and pull out the Iron Goliath and set it down on the lectern.
And the little robot librarian by that lectern turns and pays its attention to that book.
Okay. So is that a move and
I'll say it's move and action.
and it's an action to put it on there? Okay.
Yeah.
To pull out the book.
Because you had to take it out from wherever you had it and the whole nine
All
yards.
right. Then I guess that will do it for El Torn's turn for right now. So he'll stop there.
All right. The next librarian up is the one on the other side of the river. So it can't do anything, but it can stare at you. Miscria, this robot librarian fixes you with a glare. It uses its glare of detention on you. And I'd like you to you just wash over you that sensation of being a young child in trouble with a teacher and being sent to detention. Please make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw. That is a 9.
The rest of you, you see your paladin disappear. What you see, Miss Kriya, is you are suddenly standing in a massive open empty space surrounded in all directions, going out on all sides with big slate chalkboards. In your hand is a piece of chalk. On one of these chalkboards is written, "I will not misbehave in class."
Do we Bart
As you have
Simpson
been
this thing?
you have been put in detention in a pocket dimension. That is what happened on that robot's turn. Robot Librarian B is just looking at its book. It's got a charge to protect. Ulfgar, that brings us to you.
I'm running for the lectern across the river. Across the water.
It will take your full move and dash just to get to that river, but you can run up to the river's side on your turn.
Okay.
I will give you credit for the running start on your leap next turn, because you got 50 feet of movement if you dash.
Yeah.
And on 100 feet diameter, that gets you halfway across, which is where the river begins. But on your next turn, you may take the leap, and I'll give you credit for the running start.
Okay.
All right. You got a bonus action you want to do, or are you going to leave it there?
My bonus action would be to attack people, but I feel like we're not doing that. You know what? I will. I'll cast a spiritual weapon on the next to the wizard.
Just at the wizard statue?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Make any attack roll.
I'm
Let's see
curious
what
what'll happen.
A 12.
It just dong off of that metal statue, and it didn't seem to have any effect.
Okay.
Whether that's because you didn't roll high enough or that it wouldn't do any damage, it's
impervious.
hard to tell with that roll. Okay, that brings us next to the last robot librarian, who is at the one that is it is close enough, being at it is near that third lectern on this side, close enough to come storming up to Eltorin. And Eltorin, it reaches out and tries to use its ear pinch attack to just grab you by the side of the ear, young man. And that is a 21 to hit.
Well, can we silvery barbs that? And let's see if
Have you got the spell slots? You've been burning a lot. Okay, yeah, you certainly can. That's a critical hit.
11th hour.
Okay, well, we'll go with the first one then.
Go with the first
Something
one.
similar?
Okay. It does 5 points of damage as it pinches your ear, and you are grappled as it twists your ear and holds you still.
So this is the one that, even though I put a book on its thing.
This is the one from the third
far
one
one.
on this side that came running over to you.
Oh, it ran over to me. Okay.
Yes. Now we come to the first librarian, but it is paying attention to its book, so that brings us to Miss Kriya.
I'm in the pocket dimension.
What are you doing in this little pocket dimension?
You know, I'm writing over and over, and I wonder, can I talk my way out of this? Like, can I use persuasion to, like, be like, you know what? I've been a good frickin' student. I pay attention. I take over when the teacher needed a nap. I taught the class. I deserve my cookie.
Roll for penitence.
I will, yeah, really. Make a I don't know, paladins are such teachers' pets. I tell you what, I will let you re-roll the saving throw, but with advantage.
Reroll with advantage. You got it, dude. That is an 18.
So you get halfway through writing out some of these sentences, and as you begin to stick up for yourself, you get that image of that teacher who just couldn't stay that mad at you. You were such a rule follower, and the blackboards fade, and at the end of your turn, you reappear in that spot that you left. So your paladin is back. But
Just
that
sort of
brings
blinked
us
pretty
that
quickly.
brings us back around to the top of the order and another lair action as the wizard aims its wand at you. Actually, it's going to aim at Ulfgar and take a shot at you, Ulfgar. As a beam of magical energy comes rolling out. Oh, that's only an 11. 5 on the dice, 11 to hit. So I think that misses you.
I'm safe.
And Calden, you are up.
Okay. So I guess in the spirit.
So I'll tell you where you're placed. You're diagonally across the room from the one empty lectern. So
Right.
it's 100 feet
I'm not
between
gonna
you
be
and
able to
that
make
other
that
one.
in
Not
one
in one
go.
turn. No.
And over here, I'm almost No, I'm a little bit closer to the other one, but there's a river between
Yes, there is.
it and myself. So the debate is, which
What do you
person
do?
should I back up, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think, even though this is the spot where the helmet would be the most useful, I think that, and Miss Kriya is close to me.
Mystery is about 30 feet away from you, yeah.
She got teleported before anything happened, before she was able to do anything. Okay, you know what? I think we're a little bit closer to that one. I'm going to sprint diagonally
Okay.
to the unguarded.
Okay, so
Spot.
with your full movement and a dash, oh, you're a rogue. With your full movement
Quick.
and a dash and a bonus action dash, you could get up to 90 feet of movement. So you get close. You get 10 feet away. It
Very
would take
close.
everything you can do, but it's still 10 feet away.
Way out of breath.
Yeah.
I could make that, but that bite took it out of me, and that would consume everything I think I can do.
Yes.
So I hope my actions speak for me, and the turn is over.
Okay. Eltorin, you are in an ear pinch. What would you like to do?
I would like to get out of said ear pinch.
Okay, athletics or acrobatics, your choice. That will be your action.
Doing acrobatics, and because of my silvery barbs, I'll have advantage on this.
Yeah.
It's the upswing of that.
17.
That is enough. You squirm your way out. There's a little ouch as you pull your earlobe out of the thing, but you are free.
All right, gonna try to make my way as quick as I can. Actually, you know what? This librarian is down on the ground, right?
It's not prone. It's standing next to you.
No. But it's standing on the ground.
Yes.
And there's a wall nearby.
Yes.
So Eltorin will dash up the wall to be out of reach of the librarian, so that next time he tries to do that, he won't be able to reach Eltorin, heading around the
Forgotten
room
about
in the
that.
direction of the next lectern.
Does get an opportunity attack. So one more try to pinch your ear.
All right, I guess I'll take it.
That's an 8.
Nope, that's
Yeah.
not going to do it.
So
Empty
you
air.
up the wall, out of reach of the grasping
Hopefully
librarian.
in the direction of the next...
Sure, you got to arc it a little bit, but in that
yeah.
direction, sure.
All right.
Okay. This brings us to the robot librarian across the water. Ulfgar, you are running straight at it. It is definitely paying attention to you. Please make a charisma saving throw. Oh no, hang on. That one already used its glare of detention. It cannot use it on you again. But it is moving towards your landing spot on the other side of the river.
Wolfgar, did we forget to do advantage for you last time because of the bonus action I did? Or is that a combat thing? I'm
That's
actually not totally
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, that is.
I'm sure if that.
And he didn't have
permeate-
anything that would. He didn't have anything that would take advantage. But it is Ulfgar's turn now.
Well, I'm still gonna. Well, how far across is this little river?
It's about 15 feet across.
Oh, okay. Because I can jump 39 feet.
Fantastic.
So I'll just jump
do this
closer
thing
to the
like
lectern.
That
Dunk this
exceeds
thing.
that exceeds your movement. So what I'm going to say
Yeah.
is you get such a big leap that this turn you're still in midair moving. Like it's one of those like John Woo things where you're like, going through the air and you're going to be able to do a lot while you're in the air. So are there any actions you want to take while you are airborne?
I'm gonna flip open the book. I'm gonna open it up to the paladin joke, and I'm gonna drop it on the lectern.
You could toss it to the lectern.
Okay.
The lectern is still, after that jump, is still maybe 15 feet away, but you could toss it at the lectern.
This is your slow-mo moment, Ulfgar.
Yeah.
I'll toss it at the lectern.
All right, let's call this is definitely dexterity based. Let's call it acrobatics to see how deftly you get
Finesse.
that over there.
How much finesse do you have?
Before you roll, yeah.
Does this
So
count as a
you
thing?
Oh,
chuck it,
wait.
and it.
That's a 7.
Do I have advantage from?
Does it count?
You know what? Sure.
Sworn?
Absolutely. I mean, by the rules, probably no, but you're doing the, the twisty midair thing.
12.
12. Yeah, 12 doesn't quite get you there. It
dice
just
say
skips
no.
off the lectern and hangs there, and you're like, oh, it's going to land. But then it keeps going and falls on the ground.
All right.
Went around the rim a couple of times and
Uh-huh.
bounced right out.
So
So
there
I'll
is
pick
a
it up next
robot
turn.
librarian who, let's see, there's one person on the wall, and there is one person running.
Close.
I think running on the wall definitely is more breaking the rules than anything else going on here. So you are facing its glare of detention. Eltorin, please make a charisma saving throw.
All right. That will be a 24.
That is a success. So you definitely get that flash of like, young man, how dare you? And maybe in your youth you were a little bit of a miscreant and you don't care about that. I don't know. But for whatever reason, you are able to resist the pull into the detention pocket dimension and are able to resist it.
Eltorin knows the rules, and he knows that running on the walls is not listed in the restricted things that you're not allowed to do.
That's
It is
true.
not in the rules that you cannot run on the walls.
Doesn't-
Eltorin knows this, and he will put that. He'll say, "No, it is. You show me the rule that says I can't run on the walls. You show me. You can't because it's not there."
I got to tell you, between
fine.
that and your call from 2 adventures ago, calling out the plan to you can't save us from traps that you plant in our way, I think that either you or one of your kids was like a criminal genius.
Yeah, that was some good thinking. History there.
It's just a rules lawyer.
Yeah, the first librarian is taken care of. So, Miss Korea, that brings us to you.
Oh, geez. I feel like I'm still in a daze from being told I needed to write on the chalkboard.
Sure, that's intimidating.
Gosh. So I'm still in the center, so as far as
Yeah, you're in terms of distance, you're probably a good 70 feet away from the one lectern that doesn't have a book on it yet, and another 70 feet away from the other one that's across the river.
Eltorin and I are on one.
Yeah.
Ulfgar is airborne, headed towards the other one.
You could get to the one robot librarian that was giving Eltorin such grief, or you could do something else.
like what try to attack it?
It's up to you, or not. It's up to you.
I don't know if they take attacks. I don't know if that's a wasted attack, but I guess I gotta try if it's
There's only
there.
one way to find out.
That or
Oh
that or
my
nothing.
gosh! Fine,
So
we're gonna
running up
find
to
out.
that robot librarian, go ahead and make your attack.
With your
All right,
fancy
that
shield,
is a
too.
16.
16 does not hit. It just chings off of its metal body, and the librarian stares at you and gives you a sort of tut-tut finger wave.
Fine. Oh, wait, no. Okay, fine.
All right. Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
All right. So brings us to the top of the order. For this lair action, the wizard makes a little gesture with its wand at the one remaining robot librarian. Oh no, actually, this is going to be more cinematic. Makes it at the one that Ulfgar is currently jumping past, and it, propelled by the wizard's magic, slides a little into your way and tries to make an ear pinch attack on you as you fly by.
That's gonna hurt.
That is a 20, and it is a 25 to hit.
That definitely
That's
hits.
gonna hurt.
So that is 5 points of damage, and you are yanked out of the air and slammed down onto the ground. And you are grappled.
Okay.
And now that brings us to Calden.
Who will cover the remaining distance, withdraw a book from the bag, and put it on the table, or put it on the stand here.
And the librarian who was giving little finger wag to Miscria just stops and calmly walks over to stand by that book.
And, well, there's a little bit more to do, so I think that with my bonus action, better reinforce Ulfgar. So I'm going to dash towards the water, towards the river.
Do you try to cross the river?
Can I get close? I thought it would be a little bit outside of my range.
Yeah, it probably is, but you can get to you can sort of, if you imagine the river as sort of this curve through the room, and Ulfgar is here on one L of the curve, and you can get here to the other side of the curve.
Okay.
So you definitely can see him and can offer some support.
Okay. But I can't because that was my bonus action.
That's true.
So that is it for Calden.
Okay, Eltorin, you are on the wall. What are you gonna do?
Gonna spend. He's gonna try to sprint around towards that last lectern.
Okay, even with a dash gives you 60 feet of movement. You've
Whoa,
got to
drone
cover.
style.
You've got to cover 75 feet of that circumference, so you're about 15 feet away.
Well, let's see. So Ulfgar is still pinched.
Yes.
How about this? So just one move action, try to get there, but then let's see how far from Eltorn is Ulfgar.
Let's call it 60 feet.
It's too far. All right, I was going to try to help, but I can't do it. I was going to try to gust and push the librarian away from you, hopefully breaking it free, but the range on that is 30 feet, so I can't
Well, hey,
quite
you
get
know
there.
what? Since we're over time, let's give me an Arcana check to see if you can pull in a little extra power.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Only a 10.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
A pleasant breeze
All right.
rolled through.
So tries to gust, but it's just too far. So Eltorn will just make as fast as he can around, and to try to get to that last lectern.
Okay. Now that brings us to the turn of the robot that is grappling Ulfgar, and it is going to use its recommended reading feature. Now that the librarian has caught you, young man, it is going to make sure you understand the power of books. And you see Ulfgar vanish.
Oh, man.
Ulfgar, you reappear in the reading room area on the other side of the wall, sitting in one of those stone chairs, but you find yourself now with a lovely book in your lap. The lamp next to you is illuminated. The side table now has a mug of, well, it's your choice. It could be a mug of tea, cocoa, maybe a nice snifter of brandy.
Oh,
But you
cocoa.
are set up with cocoa and a lovely book. But unfortunately, way out back in the reading room section of the library. But it is now your turn.
Suddenly the battle seems so far away. Was it a
Place the book
dream?
on the table, get up with the cocoa, and walk back to the archway, I guess.
Okay.
With the cocoa.
You do have to cross the river, but with your ring of jumping, it's not a big deal. So dunk. But I'm going to say it takes, because it's a little bit of a distance. That is your turn with dashing to get there. So the lot of you see Ulfgar show up in the archway with the smell of the cocoa. It's amazing. Why he's doing that instead of fighting is perhaps a bit of a mystery, but he is at least not trapped in a pocket dimension. And that brings us, the other librarians are happy with their books. Miscria, that brings us to you.
So there's just one, and
One
I'm
on
missing
the-
Ulfgar.
And it is on the other side of the river from you.
And I believe, yeah, it's so far away. Oh my gosh.
How wide is the river?
15 feet.
Yeah, that's beyond my jump, I think.
But you got that cap.
Beyond. Why does it have to be so far away? Gosh. Well, I guess gotta just start heading that way, but I don't think I'm gonna make it all the way there.
All right, so making a run, I'll say you can get to the edge of the river, but you're right, you can't make it all the way there.
Okay.
Brings us now to the top of the order, back to the lair actions. I think it is time for Calden to get some knowledge. Calden, that book glows. An entire book's worth of knowledge comes into your brain. Make an intelligence saving throw.
All right, that's going to be my strong suit. It's a 21.
Oh, that is a pass. You take only 2 points of psychic damage and are not stunned by the onslaught of knowledge, and it is your turn.
Oh, that feels weirdly good. Okay, so I'm going to try to get by hook or by crook to the other side of this river. I'm not sure how. I guess I got to go through.
You tell me.
Go over.
All right.
I
So
don't have any
diving in,
tools
I'm going to
left.
say with that cap, I'm going to give you advantage
cap.
because you don't
can
have to worry
breathe.
about breathing. Advantage is a swiftly moving river. Make an athletics check to get across instead of being washed away, but I'll let you make it with advantage because of the cap.
Okay.
I'll tell you the DC is 14. The 2 doesn't get you there, but you can roll again with advantage.
No, that was with advantage.
It was with advantage? Oh no! So you dive into the river and you just see Calden vroom, just swept by the current. So Calden, you end up in that reading room, bouncing up on some rocks, but swept out of the room.
At least I can breathe.
Yeah.
Haven't
And
drowned.
that brings us to Eltorin.
All right, Eltorin's still running along the wall, trying to get to that lectern.
And I think if my math is right, you've got the distance to get there as you run along the wall.
All right, gonna pull out. Let's see. Charlie in the Iron Factory, and put it down on the.
And as you do, the last robot stops and moves over. The statue stops, and a background noise that you all didn't even realize you were hearing. That whine of power in those robots. You know how, right? Like electrical devices. As audiobook narrators, trust me, we know electrical devices have this little whine to it. It stops. As the replacing of the books, deactivating the robot librarians, thereby also deactivating the robots that they were commanding to go and bring back these books that had been taken. You can still hear the stream, but that quiet that you didn't even know was missing happens as the robots have been shut down.
Like to run to the room, wet.
Yeah.
Did we do it?
I think so.
I think we got him stopped.
And I got to keep my if you give a dragon a gold piece.
Yeah.
The game master didn't say we're out of initiative.
Oh, sorry. You are out of initiative. Yes. My
Eltorin's
apologies.
gonna-
You are out of
Try to
initiative.
use his slippers to climb up the statue and retrieve the glasses.
Yeah, and as you pick them up, the glasses shrink to your size as they magically adapt to the size of whatever creature is holding them.
Wondering about that.
Ooh.
And standing at a odd angle at the top of the statue doesn't. Okay. Sitting perpendicular off the statue.
Yeah.
Bring them carefully back down.
All right. And I'm assuming not to step on this moment, but to try to bring things to a conclusion since we're over time. I'm assuming you head back to the dragon?
Yes.
All right.
I'm
So
curious about the
Snag.
book that Eltorin wanted. Was that the same book that we have?
yes.
Wish I could open that door, but maybe we'll. You know what? Mystery is a wonderful thing. I don't know if we have
Yeah.
enough time to open that door or leave it closed. It's sort of up to you, Eltorin.
Oh, what the book that we got?
Weren't you looking for this book in particular?
Oh, yeah.
Not sure if I should give it to you first or.
Oh, that's all
or
right.
maybe
Whatever.
Maybe we'll
El Torin's been patient. He can be patient a little while longer.
we'll let the audience.
He knows
write
where
in
it is.
So
that backstory.
the dragon is delighted at the return of the glasses, and as he puts them on, you see those cataract over eyes go clear, and you see the glowering red, terrifying eyes of an ancient blue dragon staring down at you, but they beam with happiness, and the dragon is like, "Oh, thank you so much. I cannot now wait to dive into this pile of treasure. It's been so long since I've been able to read." And just says, "And if you'll excuse me, I've been away from my books for quite some time. You know how it is when there's that book that you're halfway through and you need to get to it. And it's been a year since I've been able to read. I thank you all very much." And just turns his back on you and begins to read.
Pleasure to be of service. Please make sure the books get returned to the library.
Oh, of course. When my servants go and get me new books, I will have them returned promptly.
Thank you, Lord of the Linguists.
It is my pleasure.
Guess we should head back up and report. Is there more for us to do here?
I don't think so. I'm
We've
ready to
got
head
what we
back
came
up.
for.
This
We got
place
the
is
glasses done and
dark
dusted.
and dank and dirty. Let's head
I'm
back up
still
into
wet.
the library.
All
Like to
right.
dry off.
Yeah, so sopping wet.
Fire.
Well, El Torin will cast a gust at Calden to try to
Blow dry me a little bit.
Oh, hey, there we go. Nice
Blow dry him.
flowing hair. Not quite at the level of Ulfgar's magically augmented beard, but pretty good. Pretty good.
You know I like to arrive, come home in style.
Yeah, so you guys head back up to the library. The librarian is delighted at the return of the book, offers you a big pile of gold. And what do you tell the librarian about what you've learned about why this book was taken and what the kobolds and dragon want to do?
tell
I'll
him the
explain
truth.
that, yeah, the kobolds have been borrowing books for a dragon that was down there, and there was a little bit of a problem. Things got backed up a little bit, but we cleared that out, and now the kobolds will start bringing back the books.
Does the library understand Dwarvish, or do I have to
Mystery,
translate
what did
all
he
of
just
that?
say?
Yeah, the librarian doesn't speak Dwarvish
Okay.
and needs a translation,
So
absolutely.
long story longer.
Right.
There was a
gotta tell
dragon. There were
twice.
kobolds.
And
They're
isn't
borrowing books because they want to read too.
And it is a library, after all, and the purpose of this library is to help spread knowledge and stories. And so the librarian is perfectly open to this arrangement. And as you step out of the library, several hundred gold pieces richer, all of you, sort of thinking over the last couple days about how not everything was as you thought it would be, that people who you perhaps at first think are the villains of a story may not be, how the ferocious power of a rampaging dragon was able to be stopped with the delight and empathy that comes from reading. That you were able to solve problems with the might of your swords and your spells, but also with your cleverness and also with your kindness. And you go out into the world, not only more powerful in your just your might and your magic, but also more powerful in your character. Which, and if a library is good for anything, surely it is good for that. And that is where we are going to bring Punch and Roll Beneath the Library to a close.
Fades to black.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining us in this summer of storytelling. It has been an absolute delight for us to bring this story to you. Punch and Roll will be back in September, rejoining the narrative from before as the crew was sucked from one story into another. And there is some more exciting news about this. Punch and Roll will soon be migrating to our own dedicated YouTube channel. You've been very kind coming to us at Pro Narrators, but starting soon, you will be able to, actually starting now, you will be able to find us at Punch and Roll. If you are not already linked to our socials, give a look for us there. And come check us out in September in our new home. Thank you once again to PANA, the Professional Audiobook Narrators Association, who you can learn more about at pronarrators.org. Thank you to the fantastic narrators who guided these characters through this adventure. As you are waiting for more Punch and Roll, keep these people in your ears. Go find Aliens Vasquez in the video description. Spencer, you've got a book for us this adventure. What would you like us to read or listen to?
Check out The Blood of Crows. I almost forgot the book I just narrated by Alex. Can you believe that? My brain's a little fried, but it's a fantasy story that maybe could carry you over. I think the link is in the description.
Yeah, Blood of Crows. And Ray, what would you ask us to listen to?
For all the role-playing fans out there, especially who want to be able to create wonderful worlds like Max did for us for this adventure, I have the Kobold Guide to World Building, which is a guide from Kobold Press on how to build your worlds for your role-playing games or your fiction if you're a writer. I've done several of the Kobold guides that can help out with your role-playing games and dungeon mastering, so check them out.
Super cool. Yeah, really. Jeremy, what would you like us to listen to?
I just recently finished the Paranoid Mage series, which is about a guy who learns later in life, midlife, that magic is real, and he just needs to spend the rest of his life in service to a magical group. And he does not appreciate that, so he goes on the run.
Fantastic. Life of service, what is this? As for me, I think I'm going to kick in something a little different. If you would like some more of my D&D storytelling, you can check out a number of adventures that I've got written up on DM's Guild. I've got some links down below. One is a action horror story, or an action horror adventure. The story is yours to create. I just give you the playground to play on. Another is a what was the other one I put in there? Oh, is a heist adventure where you have to rescue a captured unicorn from a tavern. And the third one is a social adventure, as there is a forbidden love between a hill giant and a troll that you have to get their families to accept. And the Belt of Dwarven Unkindness came from a book of magic items I wrote, which is also down in there. So you can get your hands on one of them too. So if you're interested in more of my D&D, check that out in the links below.
So is that trademarked somewhere on the belt?
Yeah, indeed.
We didn't see it.
Indeed. Thank you again to all of you who've joined us for these 4 evenings of storytelling.
Thank you so much to the viewers. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
There is no story until it is created in the mind of the listener. So thank you all for listening to us. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you in September.
Mwah.
Goodbye.
Have a good night.